In the system space, Ryu looked at the blank task panel. Xiaomeng, will the task panel refresh itself with new tasks? Ryu asked Xiaomeng. No, unless you spend your points to refresh Ryu, otherwise there will never be a new task. Xiaomeng shook his head to Ryu. I feel like this is a pit. Ryu's instinct tells himself that there seems to be a hole in this task panel. Little Mang, consume 1,000 points, please refresh me once. Okay Ryu. Refresh it for you right away. 5 tasks appeared on the task panel in an instant. Fortunately, Ryu, there are 5 tasks refreshed. You must know that the number of tasks refreshed each time is different. At worst, only 1 task may be refreshed. Xiaomeng looks at Ryu with a look of luck. And Ryu is expressionless now, and even wants to play Xiaomeng. 5 missions have a shit. I can't even make money back after finishing these 5 missions. I know this mission panel is a pit. D-level task. Weeding the villagers, task reward, 100 points. D-level task. Help the farm pick manure, task reward, 200 points. D-level task. Clean up the Naruto, task reward, 100 points. D-level task. Find a cat for the famous lady of the country of fire, task reward, points. D-level task. Go to the streets to clean up the bear kids, task reward, points. The 5 missions, all of which are D-level missions, can only earn 700 points after completing all of them. Ryu spent 1,000 points to refresh the mission, and ended up losing 300 points. Looking at Ryu, who was expressionless, Xiaomeng was a little scared. Well, the task of refreshing is beyond my control, don't hit me. Xiaomeng took a few steps back in fear. Don't worry, I won't hit you yet. Ryu knows that Xiaomeng is just a system wizard, she can't do anything but assist Ryu. That's good, I just scared me. Xiaomeng let out a sigh of relief, and then thought to Ryu to say. In fact, the more points you spend, the greater the possibility of refreshing advanced tasks. I suggest Ryu you to spend more points to refresh. I feel that this thing is a pit right now, I don't dare to put it in. Ryu looked at his points, 141,100 points, 8,900 points short, can be exchanged for Mangekyo Sharingan. Ryu, I know that you want to earn points to redeem Mangekyo Sharingan. Actually, I think you can try to open it yourself. You have Indra Chakra. It is not difficult to open Mangekyo Sharingan. Xiaomeng suggested to Ryu that, in fact, Ryu only needs to proceed step by step, relying on the special effects brought by Indra Chakra, and Mangekyo Sharingan will surely be activated. Indra Chakra is in Ryu's body. Ryu doesn't know how to use it, but it also brings him many hidden benefits. For example, the same as 3 Tomo Sharingan, but the pupil power is several times more than others' 3 Tomo Sharingan. The quality of chakra is far superior to others, the power of ninjutsu released is greater, and there are some enhancements to the physique, but it is not obvious. The most important thing for Ryu is to open Mangekyo Sharingan, which is much easier than other Uchiha people. Other Uchiha people experience life and death, and experience the death of their loved ones, and it is difficult to open Mangekyo Sharingan. Not anyone from the Uchiha tribe can turn on Mangekyo Sharingan when they see the death of their relatives and friends. They cannot turn on Mangekyo Sharingan without that talent. With Indra Chakra, Mangekyo Sharingan will almost certainly be turned on. Xiaomeng's proposal is very good, saving 150,000 points, but Ryu shook his head. It's too slow to turn on by myself, and I don't want to be stimulated anymore. Ryu felt that if he was stimulated to turn on Mangekyo, his personality would be affected. Do it again, this time consumes 5,000 points. Ryu is also willing to fight, and is ready to refresh again. Then you don't do these tasks. You have 700 points anyway, Xiaomeng asked Ryu. If you do the task, you will lose 300 points at most, and you will lose 1,000 points if you don't do the task. Don't do it. Refresh it now. Seeing the task of picking dung, Ryu suddenly responded, wanting him to eat for 3 days. After refreshing again, 2 tasks appeared this time. B-level task. Kill a Jonin, task reward, 10,000 points, water attribute chakra, no penalty for failure. B-level mission. Protect Kushina from being captured, mission reward, 15,000 points, physique plus 10. No penalty for failure, mission period, 7 days. Huh. Luck this time is not bad. After seeing these 2 tasks, Ryu finally smiled. 5,000 points are not a waste of money. The mission period to protect Kushina is only 7 days, so is Cloud Shinobi's hands on time these 7 days? Ryu glanced at the time limit. The Kushina kidnapping incident also occurred in the original book, but Kushina at that time should have graduated from the ninja school. Right now Kushina was targeted by Cloud Shinobi just after the Joninja school? Wait, I didn't seem to say that Cloud Shinobi was going to catch Kushina. Ryu glanced at the mission again. The mission was to protect Kushina from being captured, but there was no prompt that Cloud Shinobi wanted to capture Kushina. Ryu was preconceived. Let me be your bodyguard for this little girl. In order to score points, Ryu also has to serve as a bodyguard for Kushina. As long as he completes the task of protecting Kushina, Ryu will be able to purchase Mangekyo Sharingan. Mangekyo is here. Ryu didn't care about talking to Xiaomeng, and left the system space directly, and then went to Kushina excitedly. When he came to the Uzumaki clan, Ryu got a message that Kushina was not there. You won't be taken away? Ryu's face changed. No, it shouldn't be so fast, maybe it's with Makoto. Thinking that the relationship between Kushina and Makoto seemed to be getting better and better, Ryu quickly returned to the clan and came to Makoto's house. Sure enough, Kushina was here. Ryu, what's wrong with you panicking? Makoto asked Ryu. It's okay. Ryu glanced at Kushina. This little girl was fine. Then Ryu stared at Kushina with fiery eyes. This is my Mangekyo Sharingan. At this moment, Ryu stared at Kushina's gaze, as if staring at a peerless treasure. Kushina, the little loli, felt very uncomfortable and looked at the strange Ryu with alert. What you keep staring at me, perverted? Kushina looked at Ryu with perverted eyes. Makoto saw that Ryu had been staring at Kushina, his expression was very strange, and he was jealous. Little girl, you may be in danger these few days. I will follow you secretly first, and don't look at me with such eyes, you are not rare for me. Ryu glanced contemptuously at Kushina's figure. You die for me. Kushina, who was despised, was embarrassed and angry, and violently punched Ryu. Ryu, is Kushina really dangerous? After hearing Ryu say that Kushina is dangerous, Makoto quickly asked. Although Kushina is 5 years younger than her, their relationship is really good now, so Makoto certainly doesn't want Kushina to be in danger. Well, there is indeed a danger. As for where the danger comes from, I don't know. Ryu is also not sure if it will be Cloud Shinobi this time. Anyway, no matter who it is, he must ensure that Kushina is not captured. For Mangekyo Sharingan, even if Uchiha Madara wants to catch Kushina, Ryu has to fight him. Of course, Uchiha Madara, a lingering old guy, will definitely not catch Kushina. You're not lying to me. Kushina looked at Ryu suspiciously. What good is it for me to lie to you? Don't believe me, forget it. Don't ask me to save you when you are in danger. Ryu sipped his tea and said lightly. Cut, I don't need your help. Kushina said proudly, but Ryu didn't think she had enough confidence no matter how she heard it. It was the 7th day in an instant. Ryu has been following Kushina for 6 consecutive days. This is already the 7th day. Ryu followed Kushina in secret, and he was afraid that he would show up and the people who wanted to catch Kushina would not dare to do anything. The system should be error-free. There is a 7-day time limit. There was no movement in the previous 6 days. There should be something wrong today. Ryu stood on a tree and looked calmly at the ninja school. Kushina was in the ninja school. After the Uzumaki clan joined Konoha, many Uzumaki clan children also entered the ninja school. Xiaomeng, if no one comes to catch Kushina this day, what about the task? Ryu suddenly asked Xiaomeng. Even if he doesn't enter the system space, he can still communicate with Xiaomeng. Of course the task is completed. In fact, this task is to ensure that Uzumaki Kushina will not be captured within 7 days. It turns out that this is the case, then I hope that this day can be passed safely, so that I will be relieved. Ryu yawned boredly, looking a little listless, but in fact Ryu's attention has not been removed from Kushina. School is about to be over. If something happens, it's probably the time period now. When Ryu saw that Kushina had packed up and left the ninja school, he suddenly became energetic. Kushina, who left the ninja school, walked towards some remote places, but Ryu slowly followed in the dark, and did not show up. Kushina will go to remote places. In fact, Ryu told Kushina to do so yesterday. Trust me. Because you trust me so much, it won't cause you anything. Ryu looked at Kushina, who was scared but still walking towards a remote place. 3 Tomo Sharingan turned on, and Ryu instantly swept around, capturing everything around him. Coming. Ryu's eyes locked on the 2 figures that suddenly appeared, carrying Cloud Shinobi Village's forehead protector on his head, and quickly ran towards Kushina. First try how many caddies you have. 4 small shurikens flew out of Ryu's hands. At the same time, These 4 shurikens were also tied with thin steel wires, which were too thin to find. While the shuriken was in flight, Ryu's wrist flicked, and he controlled the shuriken through silk threads. 4 shurikens simultaneously attacked the ninja who was grabbing Kushina. Puff puff puff. The 4 shurikens instantly killed the ninja. Isn't it that weak? Ryu was a little surprised, he thought the enemy could escape. But to catch a 5-year-old ninja student, you really don't need to dispatch a ninja who is too strong. Lightning-style Chidori, in an instant, Ryu's palm penetrated the chest of another ninja. Huh, it's solved. Kushina hurried to Ryu's side with a frightened look, and hugged Ryu tightly. Scared like a little quail, Ryu lowered his head and said teasingly. I'm not afraid, Kushina said bitterly, but still didn't let go of holding Ryu. She is still only a child, even if she is mentally prepared in advance for such a thing, it is impossible not to be afraid. Hold me tight, the matter has not been resolved yet, Ryu whispered in Kushina's ear. As for why Ryu is sure that it has not been solved yet, of course the mission has not been completed, indicating that there are enemies. Come out, it's boring to hide your head and show your tail, Ryu said lightly. Kushina, who was holding Ryu, raised her head and looked at Ryu's face close at hand. Her face blushed slightly. This villain was handsome. Ba ba ba. What about being handsome, not just bullying yourself, huh, big badass. Ryu didn't know what Kushina was thinking. At this time the enemy who seemed to be hiding in the dark hadn't come up yet. Oh, I won't come out. If that's the case, then I can go. If I miss it, I won't have a chance. After speaking, Ryu turned around to leave, and the moment Ryu turned around, the murderous intention appeared. The blade slashed towards Ryu's back, without mercy. The enemy's attack was quick, but Ryu, who had been prepared a long time ago, could not be attacked. Body flicker technique avoided the opponent's blade. Ryu stood on a tree in the distance, with Kushina hugging him tightly hung on his body. Still can't bear it. Ryu looked at him, tall, with a mask on his face, unable to see his face, and at the same time wearing Cloud Shinobi Village forehead protector on top of his head. The 2 ninjas that Ryu killed just now should be Chunin, and the guy in front of him, who can bring a little pressure to Ryu, should be Jonin. Perhaps this time, 2 tasks can be completed directly. Ryu's other mission is to kill Jonin, who happens to be in front of him. Looking at the opponent, Cloud Shinobi Village's forehead protector, but is the opponent really Cloud Shinobi? When I came to Konoha Village, I also swaggered to bring Cloud Shinobi Village forehead protector, for fear of Konoha Shinobi. Don't those who know it is Cloud Shinobi? It's too suspicious. Regardless of whether the opponent is the real Cloud Shinobi or the fake Cloud Shinobi, Ryu must solve the opponent and complete his task. Kushina, you come down first, Ryu whispered in Kushina's ear. What? Kushina looked at Ryu blankly, like a goose with a dumb head, and didn't understand what Ryu was saying. I was dumbfounded when I watched Ryu before, and became a nympho, so I didn't hear what Ryu said. I said you come down first. The other party is Jonin, which is difficult to deal with, Ryu said to Kushina patiently. Of course, when talking to Kushina, Ryu was also looking at the Cloud Shinobi, and he was still very vigilant in the face of a Jonin Ryu. In the trial space, Ryu can display the spirit of not being afraid of death. For example, when playing Kakashi Projection, he dared to work hard in a way of life for life. But in reality, Ryu will not be resurrected when he is dead, so even if he can solve a Jonin with 100% certainty, Ryu is still very vigilant. Oh. Kushina let go of Ryu obediently. At this time, she won't be arrogant, and she wouldn't be so obedient if she left it in normal times. Uchiha Wild, protect her, Ryu said lightly. That's right. Ryu did not act on his own, but also brought Uchiha Wild. Uchiha Wild has completely become Ryu's escort, and there is an elite Jonin, how can Ryu not be used? Young master, let me solve the enemy. After Uchiha Yi walked out of the dark, he talked to Ryu. No, I always have to go through battle. Ryu rejected Uchiha Yi. What's a joke? Ryu is going to complete the mission of killing Jonin. How can Uchiha Yi make a shot? Fire style great fireball technique. Seeing that the opponent showed signs of fleeing, Ryu did not hesitate to use fire style to force him back. Want to go? How easy is it? Ryu turns on 3 Tomo Sharingan with a little bit of murder in his eyes. Cloud Shinobi lowered his head and didn't dare to look at Ryu's eyes at all. Facing the Uchiha family, anyone who dared to look at each other during the battle, Sharingan, was dead. Sharingan's illusion is very powerful, but he needs to look at the enemy, and he needs to look at the enemy to control the enemy with the illusion. The shuriken flew out of Ryu's hand, and then Ryu moved in an instant. Lei Shushin technique, appeared behind Cloud Shinobi in an instant, his fist slammed into the back of the opponent's head. Cloud Shinobi also reacted quickly. After feeling the threat coming from behind his head, he immediately used body replacement technique to escape the catastrophe. Aren't you Cloud Shinobi Village famous for ninjutsu? How about you come and show me the physical skills? Ryu didn't get annoyed when he knocked down the air, but instead said to the opponent. Wind-style breakthrough. Wind-style breakthrough. The ninjutsu released almost at the same time cancelled each other out in the air. Ryu didn't know this ninjutsu before, but after the opponent used this ninjutsu, he instantly copied it. Before Sharingan Mangekyo Sharingan was turned on, Sharingan had extraordinary insights, observing the flow of chakra, applying and seeing illusion, duplication, and non-blood ninjutsu. In fact, even before Mangekyo Sharingan was turned on, 3-Tomo Sharingan was very strong. Lightning-style Reikiri. Reikiri is an S-level ninjutsu, an upgraded version of Chidori, capable of cutting through the lightning in the sky. The blue thunder and lightning gathered in his hands. At this time, Ryu's hands were like a sharp weapon of a magic weapon, sharper than anything. The ground was cracked by Ryu, and a flash of lightning flashed across, and a trace of bloodline appeared on Ryu's hand when he used Reikiri. This bloodline is not Ryu's, but the enemy's. It seems that I'm still unskilled, and I couldn't kill you. Ryu turned his head and looked at the Cloud Shinobi with a pity. At this time, Cloud Shinobi had lost an arm. Originally, the target of Ryu's attack was the opponent's heart, but Ryu underestimated the opponent's combat experience. At Ryu's lightning-like speed, the opponent reacted, avoiding the critical position, but was also cut off by Ryu's arm. Ninjas need to make seals with both hands, and seldom can make seals with one hand. Now that one arm of the other party is abolished, the opponent has been abandoned. An arm was cut off by Ryu, but the opponent never made a sound. It was so hard that Ryu was a little admired. I admire it, but I still want to kill. Lei Shushin technique, and then the kuwu in his hand pierced towards Cloud Shinobi's heart. Chang, I want to resist. Ryu looked at Cloud Shinobi, who was blocking his kunai. After a single blow failed, Ryu pulled back instantly, and then used the fire style. A sea of fire was swallowed, and if the opponent's right arm was still there, he could still use ninjutsu to resist, but unfortunately the arm was cut off and could not perform ninjutsu, just like a toothless tiger. Ding. You complete the task, kill a Jonin, and get a reward, 10,000 points, water attribute chakra. Ding. You complete the task, protect Kushina from being captured, and get rewards, 15,000 points and plus 10 physique. In an instant, Ryu felt that he had an extra chakra attribute, and his physique had also been strengthened. Of course, these are not important to Ryu. The important thing is that Ryu has 25,000 points, plus his original points. Now he has 161,100 points. The price of Mangekyo Sharingan is 150,000 points, which means that Ryu can now redeem Mangekyo Sharingan. Excited, with Mangekyo Sharingan, he has the power to fear no one. As long as Uchiha Madara, who is hiding in the dark, does not take action, and Black Zetsu's old yin ratio does not target him, Ryu doesn't need to fear anyone. Even if Sarutobi Hiruzen wants to play with him, Ryu can easily get out even if he can't beat him. After calming down the excitement in his heart, he can't exchange Mangekyo Sharingan here, he wants to exchange it after he returns. Go. Let's go back first. Ryu appeared next to Kushina and quickly returned to the Uchiha clan with Kushina, while Uchiha Wild followed Ryu. Ryu originally planned to send Kushina back to the Uzumaki clan, but now Ryu is anxious to exchange Mangekyo Sharingan, and there is no time. The same goes for bringing her to the Uchiha clan. Anyway, she often goes to the Uchiha clan. Speaking of it, Uzumaki Kushina is the only foreigner who often visits Uchiha territory, and other outsiders rarely visit Uchiha territory. After returning, Ryu gave Kushina to Makoto and asked Makoto to comfort Kushina. This little girl was kidnapped just now. Although it's okay, Ryu knows that she must be a little scared in her heart. Let Makoto comfort her first. Ryu went back to his room, then locked the door and entered the system space. Little Mang quickly exchanged Mangekyo Sharingan for me. After entering the system space, Ryu shouted to Xiaomeng. Ryu, you can think about it clearly. You have Indra Chakra. It is easy to turn on Mangekyo Sharingan. It is almost inevitable. Is it really a waste of points? Xiaomeng asked Ryu. Indra Chakra makes Ryu's chakra more pure, and it also gradually strengthens Ryu's physique, and slowly improves Ryu's pupil power. Even if Ryu does not experience negative emotional stimulation, Mangekyo Sharingan can be turned on sooner or later. It's not a waste, it's better to grasp the strength as soon as possible. Ryu knows that he has been targeted by Sarutobi Hiruzen and Danzo. Maybe Sarutobi Hiruzen will not start, but Danzo, the old thief, really dares to start. There may be nothing wrong in Konoha village, but it is dangerous to leave Konoha village. Let's get Mangekyo Sharingan first. Alright, but you don't regret it in the future. After redeeming Mangekyo Sharingan, there were more than 10,000 points left after 150,000 points. To be honest, seeing the points disappear instantly, Ryu felt distressed. Immediately afterwards, Ryu felt a little cool in his eyes, with a cool feeling. The pupil power has exploded. If Ryu's pupil power was 1, then Ryu's pupil power is now 20, which is a 20-fold increase. I thought it would hurt, but I didn't expect it to be so cool. Ryu has already turned on Mangekyo Sharingan at this time, and his insight has increased several times compared to before. It is estimated that ants from 100 meters away can see clearly. At the same time, his chakra skyrocketed, and even the strength of all aspects of the body has been improved. Sharingan evolves and will improve in all aspects. Of course, the most important thing is to improve pupil power. At this moment, the 3 Go Jade in Ryu's eyes disappeared, replaced by the sickle shape of the Go Jade connected together. My pupil technique. Ryu suddenly took out a kunai, then slammed it into his palm, splashing blood. At the same time, Ryu's left eye fluctuated, and the palm that was pierced instantly recovered as if it were not injured. Back in time. Ryu's left eye is pupil surgery, which is the ability to go back to time, and the range and time of back time depends on the pupil power and chakra consumed by Ryu. Now that he consumes all chakra and pupil power, Ryu can make everything within 10 meters around him go back 10 seconds. In fact, even if you can go back 1 second, the help to Ryu is unimaginable. Another pupil technique of Ryu is moon reading, a powerful illusion technique, which is absolutely called the strongest mental attack. Moon reading can pull the enemy's spirit into the illusion space. In the moon reading world, all factors, including time, location, quality, etc., are controlled by the caster. Under normal circumstances, moon reading cannot be deciphered. Only when Sharingan's pupil power is above the caster and the mental power is strong, can it be deciphered. Just look at the opponent, and you can pull the enemy into the illusion space. No matter how long it has been in the illusion space, the outside world is an instant. Monthly reading can even cause the enemy's mental breakdown. Except for infinite Tsukuyomi and distinguished heavenly gods, it is estimated that there is no illusion that can exceed monthly reading. I'm very satisfied with these 2 pupil techniques. It's more than satisfaction, it's really too satisfying, a pupil technique of the time system, and a pupil technique of the illusion system. Susanoo. Ryu can't wait to use Susanoo. Susanoo should be regarded as Mangekyo Sharingan's 3rd pupil technique. Every pair of Mangekyo Sharingan can be activated. However, they can only be used when they have 2 eyes. They are called the power of the gods, which symbolizes destruction. Everyone in the world says that as long as they see it once with their own eyes, they will inevitably die. Ryu's Susanoo is blue, the same color as Uchiha Madara's Susanoo, but the color is the same, the appearance is still different. Susanoo has many forms. The initial form only has arms and ribs, which is the weakest at this time. After the first form, the skeleton frame can already be manifested. This form has very strong defenses, and ordinary ninjutsu can't break it. The second form is filled with meridians and flesh and blood on the basis of the skeleton, and the chakra coat can use ninjutsu and weapons. The third form adds the Wushiangu armor to the original foundation, and the defense is stronger. Even the strong shadow level can hardly break Susanoo's defense, but at this time Susanoo only has the upper body. After that, there is a fourth form. On the basis of the second form, the lower body and legs are added, and the body shape will be greatly enlarged, basically exceeding 100 meters. In the end, it is completely Susanoo, adds Wushiangu armor to the fourth form, and has more wings, can fly, can break mountains and rivers, and even meteorites can be cut. Susanoo is the real Susanoo. However, if you want to turn on the full-body Susanoo, you need Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, and Mangekyo Sharingan can only be turned on to the third form at most. Even Susanoo in the third form is not weaker than the tail beast, able to suppress the tail beast and destroy the mountain. Although Ryu had just obtained Mangekyo Sharingan, he directly used the third form Susanoo. The consumption of chakra and pupil power is really terrifying. Ryu can feel the rapid consumption of pupil power and chakra, but Ryu's use of Susanoo is not as painful as other Mangekyo Sharingan owners. Probably because of the Uzumaki fairy body, the side effects caused by Mangekyo Sharingan have minimal impact on Ryu. After releasing Susanoo, Ryu took a deep breath. You still need to turn on Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan as soon as possible, so that you can use Susanoo unscrupulously without fear of the side effects of Mangekyo Sharingan. Even if the Uzumaki fairy body can suppress the side effects, it cannot be completely avoided. After all, the Uzumaki fairy body is just an imperfect sage body. If Ryu gets the perfect sage body, he might be able to use Mangekyo Sharingan as Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. Ryu wants to redeem the perfect sage body, but it is too expensive. It takes 800,000 points to pack the perfect sage body plus wood style. Among them, perfect sage body is worth 700,000, and wood style is worth 100,000 points. The power of redeeming wood style alone is only as powerful as Yamato, so the redemption points required are not high, and it is not as good as Mangekyo Sharingan. Only with the perfect sage body can it exert the power of first Hokage's devastating wood style, and with the masculine and majestic vitality that comes with the perfect sage body, wood style can be invincible. The wood style alone can only be said to be a relatively good blood succession limit, but it is not terrifying. Damn, it's dead again. Ryu withdrew from the trial space depressed. With Mangekyo Sharingan turned on, Ryu of course couldn't help but challenge those projections, and Ryu chose to be in Mangekyo Sharingan's state. But I played 3 times in a row, and Ryu hadn't beaten him. He had been killed by his own projection 3 times. In terms of strength, Ryu is actually no weaker than his own projection. They all have Mangekyo Sharingan, and they are not bad in other aspects. However, Ryu's combat experience is completely inferior to his own projection, and he has lost 3 consecutive times because of his weak combat experience. But it's not without gain. Mangekyo Sharingan is already completely familiar with it. Ryu's current combat power is much stronger than when he just exchanged Mangekyo Sharingan, and his combat experience has also been greatly improved. And Ryu discovered one thing, that is, the pupil power consumed by Mangekyo in the trial space will instantly recover when he leaves the trial space. From now on, Ryu can practice Mangekyo Sharingan in the trial space without worrying about the consumption of pupil power. Ryu's strength: 59, 10 for ordinary people. Physique: 65, the limit for ordinary people is 10. Speed: 61, 10 for ordinary people. Spirit: ordinary people limit 10. Chakra: quasi-film level ninjutsu, lightning style Reikiri, S level, Rasengan, A level, lightning style Chidori, A level, lightning style Thundershot, B level, fire style Fire Extinguishing, B level, Shadow Clone Technique, Grade B, Fire style Great Fireball Technique, Grade C, Fire style Phoenix Fire Technique, Grade C. Physical Surgery: Uchiha Fluid Surgery, a grade, Gentle Fist Method 8 trigrams 64 palms. Illusion: Narakujian Technique, Grade C, Illusion Sharingan. Sealing: Diamond Blockade, Grade A, Pupil Surgery. Time Retrospect, Monthly Reading. Blood Succession Boundary: Mangekyo Sharingan, Uzumaki Celestial Body. Comprehensive Evaluation: Shadow Level Ryu checked his attribute panel and comprehensively evaluated the movie level. Does he have the strength of the movie level? Is Chakra just a quasi-film class? It seems a bit weak. The Chakra evaluation on the property panel includes not only quantitative evaluations, but also quality evaluations. In terms of the number of chakras, Ryu Chakra with Uzumaki Fairy Body has already exceeded the Shadow level, but the quality of Chakra is worse than the Shadow level. With the same amount of Chakra unleashing ninjutsu, Ryu's ninjutsu is definitely not as powerful as those who are strong in the Shadow level. If I get the Chakra of the Tailed Beast, my Chakra is definitely a Super Shadow class. Ryu instantly thought of 9 Tails projection. Should we go for a wave of 9 Tails? The complete 9 Tails must have Super Shadow fighting power, but Ryu's Mangekyo Sharingan is the nemesis of 9 Tails. Uchiha Obito can control 9 Tails with one eye. I have a pair of Mangekyo Sharingan. There is no reason why I can't do it. Little Mang, send me to the trial space. I want to challenge 9 Tails projection. Ryu yelled to Xiaomeng and was sent to the trial space by Xiaomeng. Hope to show me 9 Tails Chakra. Defeating what is exploded by the projection is actually by luck. It is possible that nothing can be exploded. Of course, the points are obtained by guaranteeing the bottom. Roar, As soon as Ryu entered the trial space, he heard a beast roar, and then saw the huge 9 tails. Susanoo. Although he thinks that using Mangekyo Sharingan to control 9 tails will be able to win, Ryu still wants to be head-on with 9 tails. The blue chakra pouring out of Ryu's body instantly formed a Valkyrie over 50 meters tall, wearing an Wuxiangu armor and holding 2 chakra blades in his hands. Ryu's Susanoo has no artifacts, only 2 blades condensed by chakra, but the sword energy from these 2 swords can still split the mountain. Susanoo in the 3rd form, don't know if it can be tough with 9 tails? In fact, Ryu didn't have much confidence in his mind. If you deal with 1 tail and 2 tail beasts, Susanoo should be able to solve it now. But if you want to be tough with 9 tails, I'm afraid you need to reach full body to completely suppress it. Sword chi slashed towards the 9 tails that was rushing, and the galloping 9 tails was cut and flew out with a single blow, and the earth was torn apart by the sword chi. Then Ryu's Susanoo danced his swords frantically, slashing towards 9 tails like a storm. For a while, he suppressed 9 tails, and the 9 tails that he fought were defeated steadily. It feels so cool to hit the tail beast with Susanoo. Ryu is completely under Susanoo's protection, and 9 tails attacks cannot break Susanoo's defense. Of course, if you use tailed beast bomb, Ryu's imperfect Susanoo will definitely not be able to stop it. But now 9 tails has no chance to use tailed beast bomb. Roar. 9 tails is not a vegetarian either. At first, I was stunned and suffered a small loss, but I quickly realized that the 9 tails slapped Susanoo like a weapon. At the same time, 9 tails' claws kept tearing at Susanoo. The furious 9 tails broke through Susanoo's defense, but when 9 tails tore the defense, Ryu used chakra to repair it. Boom. Although Ryu tried his best to stop 9 tails, he still let 9 tails release the tailed beast bomb. Tailed beast bomb is the strongest attack of tailed beast bomb. It changes the shape of chakra to the extreme, then mixes and compresses it into a super density ball in the mouth with a ratio of yin and yang of 2 to 8, and then releases it. This is the tailed beast bomb. One tailed beast bomb can destroy most of Konoha village. Ryu's Susanoo was smashed by the tailed beast bomb, and his body was destroyed in half. However, Susanoo was formed by chakra. As long as Ryu's chakra is enough, the pupil power can support it. Even if it is destroyed, it can be repaired instantly. Ahem, I can't beat it. Now Ryu can be sure that Hardgang really can't beat 9 tails, and his pupil power and chakra are about to fail. Forget it, the game is over. Ryu lifted Susanoo altogether, his eyes met those of 9 tails. Illusory Sharingan. The remaining pupil power was consumed wildly, and 9 tails was constantly roaring. In the roaring struggle, finally settled down honestly. At the same time, 9 tails' eyes became 3 Tomo Sharingan. Controlled, it's really not easy. Ryu's eyes are a little dry, and his pupils are exhausted and a little tired. In fact, I didn't need to be so embarrassed. I used Susanoo and 9 tails to fight for 5 minutes, but the violent battle for 5 minutes consumed most of Ryu's pupil power. As a result, when I controlled 9 tails, my pupil power was a little insufficient, and I almost couldn't control it. Ding. You defeated the 9 tails projection, earn points, 300,000, a copy of 9 tails chakra. After controlling 9 tails, Ryu was rewarded. In the trial dungeon, killing the projection and making the projection lose its combat effectiveness is considered a successful challenge. Although Ryu did not kill the 9 tails projection, but controlling 9 tails has already caused 9 tails to lose its combat effectiveness. 300,000 points, am I right? If you beat a 9 tails, you get 300,000 points. Think about it, when you beat Hitaki Kakashi projection, you only get 30,000 points. The difference is too big, 10 times the difference. Before I was worried about 150,000 points, but now I have 300,000 points. Is this a wave of riches? Leaving the trial space, Ryu felt the violent and negative chakra that emerged from his body. That was the chakra burst out by 9 tails. Although these 9 tails chakras are quite a lot, they are definitely not all of 9 tails. Do I only get 1 copy? It's a pity for Ryu. What he wants is to get all the chakra of 9 tails, so that he will become a real humanoid tail beast. But 9 tails chakra does not seem to blend with my own chakra. Feeling the movement of chakra, the tail beast in his body, Ryu frowned. Unlike when he obtained Indra chakra, the Indra chakra obtained by Ryu has already blended with the chakra he originally refined. 9 tails chakra and Ryu's own chakra are not fused, but there is no conflict. Forget it. I don't want to, anyway, I can use it freely, a group of 9 tails chakra appeared in Ryu's hand. Ryu, you now have 300,000 points. What do you want to redeem? Xiaomeng appeared in front of Ryu and asked Ryu. I don't have this idea. Of course, Ryu will not waste points at this time. Save it to exchange for eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, or exchange for the perfect sage body. Isn't he fragrant? Then Ryu left the system space and walked towards Makoto's house next door. What did you do before? Are you doing something shameful with the door locked? As soon as Ryu came in, he heard Kushina's words, gave Kushina a surprised look, and then asked. Why haven't you left? Kushina, who had seen Ryu in a good mood, became angry instantly and turned her head away with a cold snort. Did you encounter something happy? Makoto asked Ryu. Because he knows Ryu very well, Makoto can see that Ryu is in a good mood at this time. Yeah, I really want to celebrate. Ryu reached out and hugged Makoto, and then turned around. Makoto's face was slightly red, and he glanced at Kushina. She was a little embarrassed to have Kushina here. Humph. Kushina glanced at it, then snorted heavily, feeling like she had eaten dog food. Putting down Makoto, Ryu came to Kushina and sat down. It's also time to send you back. By the way, tell your father about your kidnapping. I won't go back. I will stay at Makoto's house. You don't care about it, just a little bit. Kushina made a grimace with Ryu unhappy. Hee, you're so embarrassed to be an electric light bulb here. Ryu squeezed Kushina's face and tried how thick Kushina's face was. HMPH, Makoto, I told you, you better stay away from this big villain, otherwise he will definitely bully you. Kushina opened Ryu's hand angrily, and then ran to Makoto to say bad things about Ryu. Ryu doesn't care, since Kushina wants to stay here, let her stay here first, but Ryu really needs to find Uzumaki Kai. After talking to Makoto, Ryu walked towards the Uzumaki clan land, and just after walking out of the Uchiha clan land, Uchiha no appeared in front of Ryu. Young master, the identity information of those cloud shinobi has not been investigated. Before Ryu came back, he asked Uchiha to investigate the identity information of the few cloud shinobi. Just don't investigate, continue to investigate may cause trouble. Although Ryu is not afraid of trouble, but he does not want to cause trouble, but now Ryu is 70% sure that those cloud shinobi are not real cloud shinobi. Although the opponent was wearing cloud shinobi village's forehead protector, from beginning to end, they did not show the iconic ability that belongs to cloud shinobi. Cloud shinobi is good at swordsmanship, ninjutsu, and lightning style, but Ryu didn't see the opponent cast one. Coming to the Uzumaki clan, as the great benefactor of the Uzumaki clan, Ryu will of course not be blocked. What's the matter with you, Ryu? By the way, Kushina went to your place, right? Uzumaki asked Ryu. I came for Kushina. Kushina was kidnapped before, but I solved it. What? Uzumaki stood up. Chakra was a little riot. Kushina was his only baby girl, if something happened, he might go crazy. Who did it? Uzumaki Kai's face was murderous. It looks like a daughter slave. Ryu murmured in his heart. Cloud Shinobi, on the surface, it was made by Cloud Shinobi, but I guess it might be someone from Danzo who faked Cloud Shinobi to make it. Are you sure Danzo faked Cloud Shinobi? Uzumaki gritted his teeth. Not sure, if I can be sure, I don't have to guess, but Danzo shouldn't attack Kushina for no reason. Although Ryu guessed that Danzo might have done it, but thinking about kidnapping Kushina, it wouldn't do any good for Danzo. Not for no reason. Danzo wanted Kushina to join the root organization. Uzumaki slapped the table angrily. Danzo wants Kushina to join the root organization. Why? Ryu was indeed shocked by the news. You should know Jinchuriki? After Uzumaki regained his anger, he asked Ryu. Of course I know, I am half Jinchuriki now. Although there is no tail beast in Ryu's body, Chakra with 9 tails, like the Golden Horn and Silver Horn brothers, Ryu can also borrow 9 tails chakra for half-tailed animalization. Half-tailed animalization is the appearance of the tailed beast chakra coat on the body. As for the complete tailed beastization, it is completely transformed into a tailed beast and exerts the full power of the tailed beast, but that requires the real tailed beast in the body to do it. Uzumaki Kei said to Ryu that he was half a Jinchuriki was shocked, but Uzumaki Kei did not ask Ryu, and he did not intend to ask about secrets. Now that you know what Jinchuriki is, it's easy to say. In fact, 3rd Hokage wants Kushina to be the next generation of Jinchuriki. At this time, Uzumaki Kai's face was obviously angry. From his heart, Uzumaki Kai did not want Kushina to become the so-called Jinchuriki. What is Jinchuriki? It's a war weapon. Uzumaki Kai certainly doesn't want his daughter to be a war weapon, and he will be treated with strange eyes from others. So Danzo knew that Kushina was going to become Jinchuriki, so he wanted Kushina to join the root organization? Ryu guessed it too. Yes, he wanted Kushina to join the root organization, but I refused, and third generation also refused him. Ryu nodded. It seems that Danzo's probability of kidnapping Kushina this time is as high as 90%. As for why I pretend to be Cloud Shinobi, I'm probably afraid of being discovered. If someone finds out, let Cloud Shinobi take the blame. If no one finds out and kidnap Kushina, I am afraid that Kushina will be brainwashed and controlled by the root organization. At that time, it is not only possible to obtain a Jinchuriki, but also to control the Uzumaki clan. I'm going to find Danzo to settle accounts. Uzumaki felt more and more angry, but he couldn't swallow that breath. Forget it. There is no evidence to prove that Danzo did it. We are just guessing, and even if it can be proved, you can't do anything to Danzo. Ryu stopped Uzumaki Kai. He went to find Danzo. Not only could he not do anything to Danzo, he might suffer a lot from him. Do you really want Kushina to become Jinchuriki? No, I will never let Kushina become Jinchuriki. If Konoha insists on letting Kushina become Jinchuriki, the Uzumaki family will leave Konoha. Uzumaki is a daughter slave. Of course, he can't make Kushina a war weapon, even if he turns his face with third Hokage. It is impossible for third Hokage to turn against the Uzumaki clan. If Uzumaki Kai firmly disagrees, he will definitely choose Jinchuriki in the end. In fact, I think it is unlikely that third Hokage will make Kushina a Jinchuriki. Ryu said to Uzumaki Kai. Why? Uzumaki was stunned when he heard Ryu's words, and then asked. It's very simple, Kushina and I walked too close, because of this, she couldn't be selected as Jinchuriki in the end. No matter how talented Kushina is, Sarutobi Hiruzen cannot make a person close to Uchiha a Jinchuriki. In that case, why did third Hokage tell me that he wants Kushina to become Jinchuriki? Uzumaki Kai looked at Ryu questioningly. Probably there are other calculations. Ryu's eyes flickered, and he felt that Sarutobi Hiruzen was testing Uzumaki Kai. If Uzumaki Kai agrees to let Kushina become Jinchuriki, it means that Uzumaki Kai gave her daughter to Konoha, and his heart is toward Konoha and his Hokage. Otherwise, it depends on what Sarutobi Hiruzen thinks. Since you refused decisively, it should be impossible for Kushina to be a candidate for Jinchuriki, but you need to be vigilant within the Uzumaki clan. Ryu's words made Uzumaki's eyes narrow. He is not a fool, he knows what Ryu means. Although the Uzumaki clan entered Konoha village, does Sarutobi Hiruzen really believe in the Uzumaki clan? Especially when Sarutobi Hiruzen made Kushina a Jinchuriki, and he refused directly. If third Hokage draws in the other members of the Uzumaki clan, if you draw in, your patriarch may not be able to sit securely. Ryu is a reminder to Uzumaki, after all, what happened to the Uzumaki clan is not good for Ryu. Bring yourself into the position of third Hokage. If the patriarch Uzumaki cannot be trusted and is not his own, Ryu will also find a way to split the Uzumaki clan. Kushina may not be back these days, but she is safe in the Uchiha family, so don't worry. After chatting with Uzumaki Kai for a few more words, Ryu left. Back to the Uchiha clan, Ryu sighed. It is estimated that the Uzumaki family may also fall into the current situation of the Uchiha family. The interior is unstable, and today Uchiha is also full of internal contradictions. The biggest contradiction is his grandfather and the Uchiha patriarch. His grandfather Uchiha Kang wants him to be the next patriarch, but how can the current Uchiha patriarch allow him? He must make his son Uchiha Fugaku the next patriarch. Now Uchiha is divided into two factions. One faction supports Ryu as the next patriarch and the other supports Uchiha Fugaku as the next patriarch. Actually, the current patriarch is still young and strong, far away from the next patriarch. Uzumaki Kai is a help for me. I finally rescued the Uzumaki family. I still have to help him when necessary. Forget it. What you want to do so much, strength is the most important thing, fist is the last word, as long as I am strong enough, Uchiha will not be annihilated in the future. Becoming a member of the Uchiha clan and enjoying Uchiha's resources, Ryu is definitely not an ungrateful person. He is absolutely impossible to let Uchiha annihilate his clan in the future, at least those who support him cannot die. Coming to Makoto's house, smelling the scent of the food, Ryu smiled on his face. Makoto, who just walked out of the kitchen, saw Ryu come in and his eyes lit up. Just made a meal, sit down and eat, it's all you like. Makoto is really suitable to be a good wife and mother, Ryu said with a smile. Hearing Ryu's words, Makoto's cheeks flushed. Making fun of me again. I'm not joking, I'm serious. By the way, Uncle Yun asked me to prepare a wedding gift before. Really? Really? Makoto's voice is so small that Ryu can hardly hear Makoto. Hey, do you still eat? If you don't eat, I will eat all of it, and I won't keep you at all. Kushina shouted fiercely to Makoto and Ryu. At a young age, I'm just like hot peppers. I'm afraid I won't be able to get married when I grow up. Humph. I will marry you if I don't get married. Hee hee. I dare not ask you, I know you have the nickname of Blood Red Pepper in school. Damn it. Don't mention Blood Red Peppers. Kushina stared at Ryu angrily. Blood Red Pepper is not a good name. Who would dare to call her that in school? She would definitely give her a lesson, and this also made her Blood Red Pepper nickname even louder. Looking at the hateful Ryu, the more I thought about it, the more angry he became, and finally the evil came to the guts, grabbing his hand and biting it down. In the system space, Ryu is considering whose projection he wants to challenge. Now Ryu can challenge 6 more, namely, 10 Tails projection, Senju Hashirama projection, Onogi projection, Uchiha Madara, Eternal Mangekyo projection, Senju Tobirama projection, Uchiha Ryu, Mangekyo projection. 10 Tails, Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara, I definitely can't beat these 3. What Ryu sees most is the power of 10 Tails. If he can explode all the chakras of 10 Tails, wouldn't it be the 6th level in one step? However, he also knew that he definitely couldn't beat 10 Tails. He could deal with 9 Tails by relying on the advantages of Sharingan, but to deal with 10 Tails, I am afraid that Rinnegan would be needed. What can be considered as me in Mangekyo Sharingan's state, Senju Tobirama's projection, and 3rd Tsuchikage Onogi? Ryu is thinking about whom to deal with. First of all, his own projection is not easy to provoke. Although the power of projection is not stronger than him, the combat experience is better than himself. Senju Tobirama, you can try to deal with it, hoping to explode Flying Thunder God technique. After thinking about it, Ryu decided to challenge Senju Tobirama's projection. Senju Tobirama has a lot of good things, such as Flying Thunder God technique, Impure World Reincarnation technique, and various S-level water-style ninjutsu. Little Mang, send me to the trial space, I want to challenge the 2nd Hokage Senju Tobirama projection. Ryu said to Xiaomeng. Immediately afterwards, Ryu was teleported to the trial space. The place where Ryu appeared was in the middle of a lake. Fortunately, it was attached to the soles of feet with chakra for the first time, otherwise Ryu would fall into the lake. The situation is a bit bad for me. After seeing the environment, Ryu scolded himself for bad luck. After entering the trial space, the terrain environment is random, and Ryu happens to be random to an enemy's best terrain. The water style of 2nd Hokage should be the strongest. In an environment with water, the power of water style will be improved. If you come, you will be safe. Ryu can't change it anyway. Take the time to find Senju Tobirama who is hidden in the dark. Well, it's dangerous. Ryu felt a sense of crisis coming from underwater, immediately jumped away, and retreated quickly. Boom. The surface of the water suddenly burst open, and a water dragon came out from underwater, exactly where Ryu was standing. Then Ryu saw a white-haired figure wearing a Konoha forehead protector and the famous 2nd Hokage Senju Tobirama attending. Looking at Senju Tobirama, Ryu's eyes are a bit complicated. Senju Tobirama is a man with a strong hand. Konoha village is so prosperous that Senju Tobirama's contribution is really inseparable. For Konoha village, Senju Tobirama's contribution is immeasurable, but for the Uchiha clan, Senju Tobirama is indeed quite annoying. He did not lessen the Uchiha clan when he was alive. Kang. Thinking about the situation in his mind, Ryu blocked the other party's kunai, then looked at Senju Tobirama who appeared in front of him instantly, and immediately backed away using the body flicker technique. Call out. Bang. The emergent Susanoo arm blocked Senju Tobirama's attack using Flying Thunder God technique to keep up. Die to me. Ryu, who turned on Mangekyo Sharingan, did not hesitate to use the 3rd order Susanoo, and Susanoo, who held 2 swords, slashed towards Senju Tobirama. Probably Senju Tobirama also felt the danger, using Flying Thunder God this time space ninjutsu to teleport. Go? Did you leave? There was a sneer at the corner of Ryu's mouth. Flying Thunder God technique was really tricky. As long as he left the Flying Thunder God technique at the target location, he could move instantly. However, Ryu has the pupil technique of retracing time, so he is not afraid of you running back in time. Senju Tobirama, who used the Flying Thunder God technique to leave last second, returned to the original place again because of Ryu's time backtracking, and Susanoo's sword has been cut down. Hey, is it still escaped? Ryu looked at Senju Tobirama, who appeared in the distance, but Senju Tobirama was not uninjured. One arm disappeared under Susanoo's slash. Water-style hard whirlpool waterblade. With one hand, the terrifying water Uzumaki condenses into a javelin, and then, under the throw of Senju Tobirama, it flies towards Ryu. Unexpectedly, I couldn't replicate it. Ryu tried to copy ninjutsu with Sharingan, but unfortunately he couldn't copy it. Mystery and blood succession ninjutsu cannot be copied using Sharingan. Why can't this ninjutsu be copied? Is it because of S-rank ninjutsu? Boom. The javelin formed by the hard vortex waterblade hit Ryu's Susanoo. Although it caused damage to Susanoo, it failed to penetrate Ryu's Susanoo. Senju Tobirama, who failed to defeat Susanoo, did not show any expression on his face. His figure disappeared and appeared inside Susanoo. How did you get in? Ryu blocked Senju Tobirama's sneak attack with kunai. He has noticed that he has not been left with the Flying Thunder God technique, nor has he seen Senju Tobirama's Flying Thunder God kunai. Senju Tobirama will definitely not answer Ryu's questions. He is a projection and not the real Senju Tobirama. He only knows the battle and will definitely not answer Ryu's doubts. Since you are here, don't leave. Ryu looked fierce, and then used the ninjutsu that was only half finished. Wind-style spiral shuriken, back in time. When Ryu's spiral shuriken smashed past, Senju Tobirama used Flying Thunder God to get away, but was pulled back again by Ryu using time retrospect. This time retrospect was like the nemesis of space ninjutsu. In fact, space ninjutsu is indeed a bit restrained. No matter how far you teleport, I can counter the flow of time to make you return to the original place. It is precisely because there is time to look back that Ryu will challenge Senju Tobirama. Otherwise Ryu will never be able to beat Senju Tobirama. He used the Flying Thunder God technique to kill himself. This blow would kill. Senju Tobirama ate a spiral shuriken head-on, and of course he couldn't bear it with his fragile body. Damn it, it hurts. From now on, I won't use it until it's finished. Ryu fractured his right hand using the spiral shuriken, and the meridian cells were destroyed. Wind-style spiral shuriken can turn the wind attribute chakra into fine needles, and directly attack the body cells. It is an S-level forbidden technique with extremely terrifying lethality. It's not finished yet, it's not stable yet, and there is no way to throw it out, so when you attack the enemy, you will also be attacked. Fortunately, this is a trial space. No matter how many injuries, you will recover when you leave here, so Ryu dared to ignore the side effects and use this technique. Ding. You kill the Senju Tobirama projection. Get 100,000 points, water-style water barrier, water-style hard vortex waterblade. Leaving the trial space, the injuries on Ryu's body, including the consumption of pupil power and chakra, all recovered. Unexpectedly, Flying Thunder God technique didn't burst. A B-grade ninjutsu water barrier, and an S-grade ninjutsu hard vortex waterblade. The harvest is not small, but Ryu wanted Flying Thunder God technique but failed to get it. Little Mang, how many points does it cost to redeem Flying Thunder God technique? Ryu asked Xiaomeng. Can you check it yourself? Too lazy. If I check it myself, what else do you have to do? Isn't your system wizard useless? Ryu knocked Xiaomeng on the head angrily. Rubbing her little head, Xiaomeng gazed at Ryu aggrievedly. It takes 150,000 points to redeem Flying Thunder God technique. Do you want to redeem it? What, you actually need 150,000 points? Mangekyo Sharingan exchanges only 150,000 points. The price of a Flying Thunder God technique is comparable to Mangekyo Sharingan. After hearing the price, Ryu almost jumped up, which was too expensive. The price of S-level ninjutsu is generally around 100,000 points, but the price of Flying Thunder God technique and Impure World Reincarnation technique is definitely more expensive. Also, Flying Thunder God technique is cheaper than Mangekyo Sharingan. If you want to redeem Mangekyo Sharingan, you need to have 3 Tomo Sharingan. If you never open your eyes to redeem Mangekyo Sharingan, you need 235,000 points to do it. Okay, I exchanged it. Ryu finally said to Xiaomeng. Flying Thunder God technique is really important. With Flying Thunder God technique, Ryu is not afraid of encountering life and death crisis. His current strength is very strong, but if he is besieged, it is not without danger, and with the Flying Thunder God technique, Ryu can easily retreat even if he is besieged by 10 shadow-level powerhouses. After redeeming the Flying Thunder God technique, Ryu still has about 260,000 points left. Ryu doesn't plan to move anymore and keeps it to exchange for Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. After the redemption, there was a lot of information in Ryu's mind about Flying Thunder God technique. I still need to become proficient. Ryu thought that after the exchange, he could use it proficiently, who knew he needed to be proficient slowly. Of course, including the ninjutsu you exploded, you need to be proficient, otherwise you can barely say that you can use it. If you want to use it smoothly, you still need to practice hard. Xiaomeng told Ryu while eating potato chips, "Forget it, I'll work hard." However, Ryu is not in a hurry to practice, leaving the system space, planning to wait until he is proficient in Flying Thunder God technique, and then go to challenge Oyeki, hoping to explode the dust of Oyeki. Chen Dun is the elimination of blood succession above the limit of blood succession. Ryu has seen the exchange price and actually needs 200,000 points, which is indeed a bit expensive. Chen Dun is indeed terrifying. It can separate opponents into atoms and directly wipe out the soul of a person. No defense is effective, and Susanoo can also break open. All depends on luck. If you are lucky, you might be able to explode Dust Escape. Ryu believes Dust Escape is definitely more terrifying than Onoki in his hands. Although Onoki is a shadow class, his chakra is not enough. Basically, after using chakra a few times, he consumes nothing. Ryu has Uzumaki Fairy Body, plus 9 tails chakra. It is estimated that Chen Dun can be used at will. These days, Ryu has been practicing, most of the time in the system space, because the system space has 3 times the training time. Mainly in the proficiency of Flying Thunder God technique, as well as the S-level water style ninjutsu of water style Hard Vortex Waterblade. Sure enough, something happened within the Uzumaki clan. Ryu did not forget to follow the news of the Uzumaki clan during his practice. Now the Uzumaki clan is divided into 2 branches. One of the clan members is following the patriarch Uzumaki Kai, and the other is the elder of the Uzumaki clan. The great elder completely fell to the Hokage line, and even now is competing with Uzumaki Chi for the position of the patriarch. It's really troublesome. It's not easy to interfere with the Uzumaki family's internal affairs. Ryu thought for a while. It seems that there is nothing he can do. This is a matter within the family. How does Ryu interfere? And Uzumaki Kei does not necessarily want Ryu to interfere. Young master, this is Uchiha Fugaku's challenge book. Uchiha Yi took a challenge letter to Ryu, which was brought by Uchiha Fugaku. That guy Uchiha Fugaku is going to challenge me? Didn't I teach you enough? Ryu has a funny look on his face, but Uchiha Fugaku will challenge him, and he will definitely improve his strength, otherwise he won't write the challenge book so high profile. But now Ryu no longer puts Uchiha Fugaku in his eyes. Now he has the strength of the shadow class, and he is not considered weak even in the shadow class. At least in the case of Heads Up, Sarutobi Hiruzen may not be able to beat him. Boom boom boom. Ryu, are you at home? Kushina's voice came from outside, and before Ryu could open the door in his yard was violently destroyed. Then Makoto and Kushina walked in. Makoto had a hint of apology on his face, but failed to stop Kushina and asked her to break the gate of Ryu's yard. This is the 5th door that you have destroyed. Ryu looked at Kushina blankly. Cut, meanie, I'll find someone to pretend to be a better one for you later. In that case, you can install an iron door for me, so that I won't be hammered by you next time. Kushina's face changed, and then she shook her fingers. An iron gate is not cheap, and it is estimated that she will run out of pocket money. Ryu, it is spreading that you are going to duel with Uchiha Fugaku, is it true? Makoto asked Ryu. Has it spread to the entire Uchiha family? Ryu's eyes flickered, and it seems that Uchiha Fugaku has come prepared this time. It's more than spread to the Uchiha family. It is estimated that half of Konoha village knows it. We heard it on the street, Kushina and Ryu said. After hearing the news, the 2 of them didn't bother to go shopping, and immediately came back to Ryu for verification. I heard that Uchiha Fugaku's strength has reached Jonin. There was concern in Makoto's eyes, and it was obvious that Uchiha Fugaku would not give up easily this time. Ryu smiled slightly when he saw the worry in Makoto's eyes, not to mention that Uchiha Fugaku became Jonin. Even if he became an elite Jonin, it was not worth mentioning in Ryu's eyes. When is it? You can still laugh. Do you know that Makoto is very worried about you? Little man Kushina reprimanded to Ryu. Also, that Uchiha Fugaku is really shameless, 5 years older than you, and I am embarrassed to challenge you, really shameless. Kushina has anger and contempt on her face. If it is a peer of the same age, the challenge is about the same, but it is clear that Uchiha Fugaku is 5 years older than Ryu. It is estimated that the challenge book this time also has the meaning of the Uchiha Patriarch. Ryu chuckled, as if he had seen everything through. You mean the Patriarch is going to give Uchiha Fugaku momentum and let him sit down with the young Patriarch? Makoto is also very smart, and from Ryu's words, he also guessed the purpose of the Uchiha Patriarch. When Ryu did not show his strength before, Uchiha Fugaku was recognized as the young Patriarch and heir to the next Patriarch. But now there is one more Ryu to compete. The great elder Uchiha Kang wants Ryu to be the next Patriarch, while Uchiha Fugaku's father, the current Patriarch, is of course unwilling. It seems that this time the challenge is really unavoidable. Ryu is ready to follow, and it has been spread out. If he doesn't accept it, doesn't it mean that he is afraid of Uchiha Fugaku? This is an upright plan. As long as Ryu wants his own reputation, he has to accept Uchiha Fugaku's challenge. If Ryu refuses, I believe there will be rumors that Uchiha Ryu is as timid as a mouse the next day. Kushina's eyes twitched, and then a flash of light suddenly appeared. Oh, we can find someone to take action now and severely wound Uchiha Fugaku. He will definitely not be able to beat you by then. You are really sinister. HMPH, I came up with this idea to help you. You actually said that I am insidious. Kushina snorted, as if very dissatisfied. This is indeed a good idea. I can let my father take it. Makoto's eyes were bright. After Kushina proposed this idea, Makoto also agreed. In order to avoid Ryu's injury, it is not impossible to be vile. I said you guys have too little confidence in my strength. Do I still need to use means to deal with a small Uchiha Fugaku? Ryu looked at Makoto and Kushina speechlessly. In the face of strength, no conspiracy was of any use. I believe in your strength. Makoto looked at Ryu with confidence. Ryu, you won this time. Can you become the patriarch of the Uchiha family in the future? Makoto asked Ryu. Of course she hoped that Ryu could become the patriarch. It's unlikely. Even if Uchiha Fugaku loses to me, his advantage is the father who is the patriarch. Ryu shook his head and said, what's more, will third Hokage watch him become the patriarch of the Uchiha family in the future? As Ryu shows more strength, third Hokage will become more and more jealous of him, and maybe third Hokage will intervene at that time. In fact, to be honest, Ryu is not greedy about the position of Uchiha's patriarch. He only hopes that in the future Uchiha will not be annihilated like in the original book. 3 days passed in a blink of an eye, and today is the day Uchiha Fugaku agreed to challenge. The venue is the training ground number 62 in Konoha village. Not in the Uchiha clan, but in the training ground of Konoha village. Obviously Uchiha Fugaku wants more people to see this battle. Come on Ryu. Makoto made a cheering gesture to Ryu. You must not lose. Kushina is here too. Originally, I was going to a ninja school today, but Kushina deliberately skipped school and came here to cheer for Ryu. If I lose to Uchiha Fugaku, I can just buy a piece of tofu and crash it. Ryu walked into the training ground. With his current strength, if he loses to Uchiha Fugaku, he can really judge himself. You are finally here Uchiha Ryu. Let me wash the shame you gave me today. Uchiha Fugaku stared at Ryu with murderous intent. Uchiha Fugaku, I underestimated the thickness of your face. You are 5 years older than me. You are embarrassed to challenge me. Can you ask for a face? Ryu looked at Uchiha Fugaku's murderous gaze, and was not polite, and directly said Uchiha Fugaku was shameless. I heard that Uchiha Ryu has just graduated from the ninja school less than a month ago, and Uchiha Fugaku has graduated for 5 years. It's really a bit unnatural. It's more than authentic, it's despicable and shameless. That Uchiha Ryu is right. It's really shameless. I don't know how embarrassed he was to challenge. The civilians and ninjas who watched the battle began to talk about it. Many ninjas from the Uchiha clan, 3rd Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen, and Orochimaru, Tsunade, and Jiraiya who have not yet received the title of Sannin have been paying attention to this battle. The duel between the two great geniuses of the Uchiha clan even determines the future position of the Uchiha clan leader. Even people who are not in the Uchiha clan are very concerned. Of course, although 3rd Hokage was paying attention, he did not come in person, but used the telescope technique to peek. Elder. This time the battle between Ryu and Fugaku is indeed a bit of a loss. Chief Uchiha said to Uchiha Kang. Although he said that, he didn't mean to stop it at all. It's okay. Uchiha gave Patriarch Uchiha a faint look, then closed his eyes and calmed down. Patriarch Uchiha frowned. This old guy doesn't worry about his grandson at all. Does he have any cards? Thinking of this, the Patriarch Uchiha's face showed a cloud of haze. This battle is already a big bully, so he must not lose. If he loses to Uchiha Ryu, it will be difficult for Fugaku to become the Patriarch again. Even if he becomes the Patriarch, many Uchiha people will be unconvinced by that time. The Uchiha people are arrogant and admire strength. They believe in powerful ninjas. If they lose, Fugaku will not be able to subdue the people as the Patriarch. Looking at Uchiha Fugaku's pig liver-colored expression, Ryu was in a good mood. Because of his remarks, many people now scold Uchiha Fugaku for bullying and shameless. If he loses the battle again, Uchiha Fugaku will be completely faceless, and it is estimated that he will have to cover his face when walking on the street in the future. Uchiha Ryu. Uchiha Fugaku looked at Ryu resentfully, and let out a low growl, his eyes full of killing intent. Moved to kill you? After incorporating Nine Tails Chakra, Ryu is very sensitive to killing intent. Uzumaki Naruto in the perfect Nine Tails mode can perceive the enemy's maliciousness. Although Ryu cannot accurately perceive any maliciousness, he is still very sensitive to murderous intent. But it doesn't matter, this time Ryu didn't think about letting off the opponent easily. Although he didn't want to expose everything, sometimes he had to show some edge. You do it first. Uchiha Fugaku suppressed his anger and said to Ryu. It's nothing more than bullying the small with the big. If you still get started first, I'm afraid you will really lose your face. Then I'm not welcome. Ryu wouldn't be polite. Body flicker technique appeared behind Uchiha Fugaku, and Rasengan smashed toward Uchiha Fugaku. Boom. A big hole was blasted out of the ground, and Uchiha Fugaku, who was barely evading, was startled in a cold sweat, and was almost beaten to death by the chakra ball. Mujutsu. The face of the ninja who watched the battle was moved. Rasengan was the first to use ninjutsu without the need for a seal. The power of this ninjutsu, at least a rank, was it researched by the kid from the Uchiha family? Tsunade looked at Ryu with interest. Although I met Uchiha Ryu for the first time, she knew Uchiha Ryu from Nawaki a long time ago, and according to Nawaki, the relationship between them is pretty good. Tsunade naturally remembers the Uchiha people who have a good relationship with Nawaki. This ninjutsu. Orochimaru has some greed in his eyes. He is more enthusiastic about ninjutsu, especially such a special Muji ninjutsu. Hey, is this a genius? A bit unhappy. Jiraiya's mouth twitched and said, this kid is only about 10 years old, not long after graduation, it is said that he has become Chunin. Looking at the current performance, I am afraid that Chunin is more than the strength. Mujutsu. In the Naruto office, Sarutobi Hiruzen is lost in thought. Regardless of what the spectators are thinking, the battle continues. Ryu holds a kunai in his hand and engages in a physical clash with Uchiha Fugaku. Obviously younger, but far beyond Uchiha Fugaku in terms of speed and strength, he beats Uchiha Fugaku down. What's more, Uchiha Fugaku is not a ninja who is good at physique. He is better at ninjutsu, fire-style ninjutsu. 2 Guyu Sharingan is good. Ryu stared at Uchiha Fugaku's 2 God Jade Sharingan. The other party tried to use Sharingan illusion on Ryu, but even if Ryu did not turn on Sharingan, Uchiha Fugaku's illusion would not be effective on Ryu. The mental power is too strong, and ordinary illusions are unlikely to have an effect on Ryu. Lightning-style Chidori. The high-intensity current formed by the lightning-style chakra gathered in the palm of Ryu's right hand, and the sound produced by the current seemed to be 1,000 birds singing. The moment 3 Tomo Sharingan was turned on, and Uchiha Fugaku looked at each other, using Sharingan's illusion, Uchiha Fugaku was sluggish. Then in a straight sprint, less than a second from a distance of 10 meters, Ryu appeared in front of Uchiha Fugaku, wrapping the palm of lightning-style chakra like a sharp blade piercing Uchiha Fugaku's abdomen. He immediately stopped, a sidekick and then hit Uchiha Fugaku in the chest, kicking Uchiha Fugaku away. The final sidekick was not too powerful, and Ryu could clearly hear the crack of a fracture. Everything happened at the moment of lightning and flint. Even the Uchiha Patriarch who was watching the battle didn't react until the end of Ryu's attack. Looking at Uchiha Fugaku's miserable and severely wounded appearance, the Uchiha Patriarch was furious and looked at Ryu with murderous intent. Come here, take Fugaku for treatment, Clan Chief Uchiha shouted. His abdomen was pierced, and his ribs were kicked off. the injury wanted to fully recover for at least 1 month. Uchiha Ryu, you are so cruel, you actually kill you in the face of your clan. Seeing that Uchiha Fugaku was sent to Konoha Hospital, the chief Uchiha turned his head and stared at Ryu, wishing to kill Ryu now. Especially seeing Ryu's 3-tomo Sharingan, the threat is too great. If Uchiha Ryu is alive, his son may not be able to take over as the patriarch. But he didn't dare to do anything to Ryu. Uchiha Kang stared at him by the side. If he did, he would face a blow from Uchiha Kangle, who was protecting the calf. He was really not sure that he could beat this old guy. Patriarch, you have wronged me. If I really kill you, I'm afraid Uchiha Fugaku is already dead, Ryu said flatly when facing the murderous eyes of the chief Uchiha. In this battle, Ryu released water and released a piece of ocean. In fact, the first Rasengan, Ryu had a chance to kill Uchiha Fugaku. If it wasn't for Ryu to slow down deliberately, what would Uchiha Fugaku do to hide? After using Chidori, if Ryu attacks Uchiha Fugaku's heart, Uchiha Fugaku is now completely cold. Only considering that the consequences of killing Uchiha Fugaku would not be worth the loss for him, so Ryu deliberately spared his life. Patriarch, there were no rules during the previous challenge. Even if Uchiha Fugaku was killed, it's no wonder Ryu. Now, Ryu is already thinking about fellowship. Uchiha spoke faintly, pressing toward the chief Uchiha. Chief Uchiha's face was pale, and finally turned angrily towards Konoha Hospital. Go. Let's go back first. A smile appeared on Uchiha Kang's face, and he was already satisfied with Ryu's performance. He deserves to be his grandson, and his talent may be comparable to that of his ancestor Uchiha Madara. The end of this duel did not exceed 3 minutes before and after, which really surprised countless people watching the battle, but this time Ryu's genius name has spread throughout Konoha. Ryu. This time you are in the limelight, and you also show 3-tomo Sharingan. The wood show will be destroyed by the forest wind. You have to be careful in the future. After returning home, Uchiha Kang warned with a serious face. Grandpa, don't worry, I have a sense of measure in my heart. Ryu smiled and said, this time he did reveal a lot of strength, standing on the cusp of the storm, but what he showed was only the tip of the iceberg. And with his current strength, he really doesn't need to worry too much, he already has the capital of Lang. Of course, Mangekyo Sharingan Ryu will certainly not be easily revealed. When he started 3-tomo Sharingan at the age of 10, he can still use the word genius to describe it. But if the 10-year-old possession of Mangekyo Sharingan spreads out, the hidden Black Zetsu and the lingering Uchiha Madara will all be watching. Having Mangekyo Sharingan at the age of 10, this is no longer a genius to describe it. In fact, it is true. Isn't Ryu also the Mangekyo Sharingan obtained by the system plugin? If you rely on Ryu himself, it will take at least 3 to 5 years to open Mangekyo. By the way, did you research the two ninjutsu you showed before? Uchiha Kang asked Ryu. That's it. Ryu said vaguely that he is indeed the first to use Rasengan and Chidori now. It is estimated that he will become the founder of these two ninjutsu in the future. It is estimated that third Hokage will come to you for these two ninjutsu. What do you think? Uchiha Kang looked at Ryu. Third Hokage will definitely persuade Ryu to include these two ninjutsu in the Book of Seals. Of course, according to Ryu's identity, third Hokage will not force it, but will only persuade. I think I can get some benefits in exchange. Ryu's eyes flickered, and there is a reason why he deliberately showed these two ninjutsu. Otherwise Ryu can defeat Uchiha Fugaku by using ordinary fire style. He used Rasengan and Chidori to attract the attention of third Hokage, and then exchanged benefits with third Hokage. Come as you want. Uchiha Kang will not interfere too much with Ryu. He knows that Ryu is very mature and has his own ideas. Leaving from Uchiha Kang, Ryu returned home. Makoto and Kushina were also at his home. Ryu, can you teach me ninjutsu? Kushina ran up to Ryu, poured him a glass of water graciously, and then asked Ryu. I said why you would take the initiative to pour water on me. I originally wanted me to teach you ninjutsu, but if you don't want to talk about it, you should learn your sealing technique. Damn it, petty kid. Kushina drank the water she had just poured for Ryu by herself. I am doing it for your own good. I am greedy and not chewing. When did I master the sealing technique? When would I teach you ninjutsu? Ryu knocked Kushina's forehead irritably. He really did it for Kushina's good. Now it's no good for Kushina to learn too much. Also, if you want me to instruct you at that time, you need to pay tuition fees. I charge tuition fees. It's not cheap. Don't want me to teach you for free. Kushina was very excited, and didn't care about what Ryu said about paying the tuition. It seems that I have to take time to learn seal art, and when I learn seal art, I can learn the handsome ninjutsu. In a blink of an eye, it has been a week since the duel between Ryu and Uchiha Fugaku, but there are still many people talking. Konoha village civilians, as well as ninjas, and other major families, including the Uchiha family, are constantly talking about it. Ryu's name is known by almost the entire Konoha village, and he is known as a genius beyond Orochimaru. Well, Konoha's strongest genius was Orochimaru, the Naruto disciple, but now Ryu has overwhelmed Orochimaru. Within the Uchiha family, although the patriarch is forbidden to discuss, there are still many members of the clan who discuss. Now the Uchiha people are divided into two factions. One faction is on the side of the patriarch and supports Uchiha Fugaku as the next patriarch. The other faction is on the side of the great elder and supports Ryu to become the next patriarch. The faction of the patriarch originally had the advantage in numbers. However, after a battle with Uchiha Fugaku, the number of support between the two sides has now been leveled, and even Ryu still has some advantages. In fact, Ryu didn't have much idea about the position of Uchiha's patriarch. Besides, it was still too early. He could not be the patriarch because he was only 10 years old. Young master, Anbu Ninja will report, and third Hokage will let you go. Uchiha no reports to Ryu. It's finally here, I've been waiting for a week. Ryu smiled on his face, as expected to be an old fox, really calm. Then Ryu went to the Hokage building and came to the Hokage office. Ryu saw Sarutobi Hiruzen again. Ryu, you are here. After seeing Ryu, Sarutobi Hiruzen smiled, thinking about how to use Ryu's two ninjutsu routines. Hokage-sama, open the skylight and speak brightly. Do you want the two ninjutsu, Rasengan and Chidori? Ryu didn't wait for Sarutobi Hiruzen to say anything, so he spoke directly. Sarutobi Hiruzen's expression was stunned, and his mind was stunned. He didn't know what to say about all the reasons he had thought to persuade Ryu to hand over ninjutsu. Why doesn't this kid play cards according to his routine? Sarutobi Hiruzen's expression is stiff, and he doesn't know what to say. Master Third Hokage, how about we make a deal? Ryu looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen with a smile. What deal? Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at Ryu deeply. Originally, when Ryu spoke out, he thought he might not be able to get these two ninjutsu. But now when I heard Ryu talk about the deal, Sarutobi Hiruzen suddenly hoped that since he wanted to make a deal, Uchiha Ryu would definitely use those two ninjutsu to make a deal. The two ninjutsu Sarutobi Hiruzen saw that they were definitely A-level ninjutsu, and A-level ninjutsu is already very strong, and some Jonin are not capable of obtaining A-level ninjutsu. If Master Third Hokage wants to take away these two ninjutsu, it won't make me wronged. Naturally, we will be a fair deal. Ryu smiled, like a little fox. Yes, naturally I can't make you suffer. Third Hokage's smile is very kind. As for what he thinks in his heart, Ryu doesn't know, but Third Hokage will never give up on this transaction. Everyone wants a deal, and then it's time for negotiation. Ryu, are you a little too greedy and want to use 2 A-level ninjutsu in exchange for 2 A-level ninjutsu and 1 S-level ninjutsu? Sarutobi Hiruzen has no expression on his face. Just now Ryu proposed to use Rasengan and Chidori in exchange for multiple shadow clone techniques, illusory dark action technique, and S-rank ninjutsu flying thunder god technique. That's right, among Ryu's request, there is also the flying thunder god technique he has exchanged for. Flying Thunder God technique Ryu has already met. The reason why he asks Sarutobi Hiruzen for Flying Thunder God technique is mainly because he doesn't want to cause any trouble when he uses Flying Thunder God technique in the future. If Ryu uses Flying Thunder God technique casually, how can he explain how he got this technique? At that time, even if Sarutobi Hiruzen doesn't attack him, Danzo will take the opportunity to attack him. In fact, Ryu still wants to get the Impure World Reincarnation technique, but it is a pity that Sarutobi Hiruzen will definitely not give this technique. Well, how about I add an S-rank ninjutsu? Reikiri, an advanced version of Chidori. Ryu thought for a while, and once again added a bargaining chip. It didn't matter if Reikiri handed it over. Anyway, this ninjutsu is not something that everyone can learn. Even if he learns, there is no threat to him. Sarutobi Hiruzen uses Reikiri, whether it can break Susanoo's defense is unknown. Okay, then I promise you. Hearing that Ryu added an S-rank ninjutsu as a bargaining chip, Sarutobi Hiruzen immediately agreed. In fact, Sarutobi Hiruzen is quite relieved of the 3 techniques Ryu wants. In Sarutobi Hiruzen's view, there is only one illusion dark line technique that is useful to him. Multiple shadow clone techniques. This is an advanced version of shadow clone techniques, and it is an A-level forbidden technique. Forbidden art is a technique that can cause danger to the operator. For example, the unfinished wind-style spiral shuriken is a prohibited technique. Without a huge chakra, multiple shadow clone techniques cannot be used, so Sarutobi Hiruzen feels that Ryu is asking for a tasteless one. But how could Sarutobi Hiruzen know about Ryu's situation? With Uzumaki fairy body, Ryu's chakra is terrible, let alone Ryu also has 9 tails chakra. And flying thunder god technique, since the death of second Hokage, no one can learn it. If you want to learn flying thunder god technique, you must have a talent for space. Obviously, Sarutobi Hiruzen doesn't think Ryu can learn it. So Sarutobi Hiruzen finally made up his mind to trade these 3 skills to Ryu. After that, Ryu recorded the 3 ninjutsu training methods and not printing methods on the ninjutsu scroll, and then gave it to Sarutobi Hiruzen. Similarly, Sarutobi Hiruzen also gave multiple shadow clone technique, illusory darkness technique and flying thunder god technique to Ryu. Master 3rd generation, I won't disturb your office. Ryu left the Hokage office contentedly, he had already got everything he wanted. Rasengan, Chidori and Reikari Ryu who have been traded are not distressed. In the future, Namikaze Minato will also create Rasengan, and Kakashi will also create Chidori and Reikari. In Ryu's eyes, Ryu only cares if he is considered a Super S-rank ninjutsu. Leaving the Hokage building, about to go back to practice, suddenly a tender white hand was placed on his shoulder. Uchiha Ryu, are you interested in getting to know it? It's really surprising that Tsunade-sama took the initiative to strike up a conversation with me, a Uchiha clan. Ryu turned around, with a handsome smile on his face. Huh. What do you mean? Although Senju and Uchiha have a long history of grievances, I don't have any prejudice against Uchiha. Tsunade snorted coldly, with an uncomfortable expression on his face. Probably following the will of first Hokage Senju Hashirama, Tsunade does not have much prejudice against Uchiha. In her opinion, they are all ninjas of Konoha village. In all fairness, Senju Hashirama is good to the Uchiha clan, otherwise when Uchiha Madara left Konoha, there would be no clans who were willing to leave with Uchiha Madara. Even after Uchiha Madara took 9 tails to attack Konoha village and launch the Battle of End Valley, Senju Hashirama showed no prejudice against the Uchiha clan. Sorry. Ryu looked apologetic, but what he said just now was not malicious, it was just accidents. You are different from other Uchiha people. No wonder Nawaki treats you as a friend. Tsunade looked at Ryu unexpectedly, and it was the first time he saw Uchiha apologize. Although I have no ill will towards the Uchiha people, your Uchiha people are indeed unwelcome, but you are a little different. Ryu smiled and was not angry at Tsunade's words. His family knew about his family affairs, and he also knew the character defects of the Uchiha tribe. He was too arrogant. Master Tsunade is also different from what I had in mind. What's the difference? What do you think of me? Tsunade asked Ryu curiously. Ryu glanced at Tsunade. Today's Tsunade is actually a Pingchuan, which is completely different from what he had in mind. Of course, he wouldn't say it so hard, he just smiled mysteriously. Pretending to be a mysterious kid, Tsunade was a little unhappy. By the way, I need to thank you. Thank me for what? Ryu looked at Tsunade in surprise, and Tsunade actually said to thank him. Thank you for saving the Uzumaki clan. The Senju clan and the Uzumaki clan are distant relatives, and her grandmother Uzumaki Mito is also from the Uzumaki clan. From Tsunade's point of view, she really needs to thank Ryu. Then I will accept this thank you, but a mere verbal thank you is a bit insincere. Ryu smiled and looked at Tsunade. You know how to make progress. Tsunade was not dissatisfied, and asked Ryu. Just say what you want. Just this opportunity, you can take it well, otherwise I will forget about this time after a drink. I want to learn weird power. Of course, I won't let you suffer. I can teach you Muji Rasengan. Ryu said his condition, he was very greedy for the strange power technique, possessing the strange power technique, and Ryu's physical skills were also supplemented. I promised you, but Rasengan will leave it alone, and the strange force technique will be regarded as a thanks to you. Tsunade was very bold, and did not refuse. Okay. Thank you Tsunade-sama. With a smile on Ryu's face, it was a surprise to meet Tsunade this time. Then Ryu followed Tsunade to the training ground. Her free time was limited and she was ready to teach Ryu strange powers now. This strange power technique is not difficult. Ryu punched a huge rock, and then the rock could be seen torn apart. His fists are a little red, but Ryu hasn't fully grasped it yet. At least the protection measures for himself are not enough. If you change to Tsunade and use a strange punch, you will definitely not hurt yourself. Strange power is to precisely control chakra, concentrate chakra on any part of the body, and then burst out terrifying power instantly, which can break the wall with one punch and kick. Tsunade looked at Ryu blankly, her silver teeth clenched, and thought this kid was a bit hateful. What is strange force technique is not difficult. When she was practicing, it took half a month to get started. I have to admit that his talent is really good, and envy is not enviable. You have mastered the essence of the strange force technique. Now you only need to be proficient slowly, and I have nothing to teach you. Tsunade suppressed the unhappiness in his heart and said to Ryu. Thank you, Tsunade-sama. Ryu is very solemnly thankful that the strange force technique is not just for teaching outsiders. Tsunade can teach himself. Ryu is very grateful. As for Tsunade's gratitude to himself, he himself knows why he saved the Uzumaki family. If it were not a system task, Ryu would never have saved the Uzumaki clan. To put it bluntly, the Uzumaki clan was saved because of his own interests. This is Rasengan's practice method. Ryu took out Rasengan's training method and gave it to Tsunade. He didn't like to owe favors, so Rasengan should just pay back the favors. Thank you already. What do you mean, brat? Tsunade asked rather badly. Master Tsunade, I don't like to owe favors. It's hard to pay back favors, so if you don't accept them, I'm afraid I won't sleep well. Ryu forced the scroll of Rasengan to Tsunade. At the same time, Ryu was puzzled as to how he felt that Tsunade was a little bit bad about him now, as if he had some opinions. It was pretty good when I faced myself before, but now it's fierce. Of course Ryu didn't know it. It was because Tsunade watched him learn too fast, and his mental imbalance was just like a hatred of the rich. Then I will accept it. To be honest, I am quite interested in this Muji ninjutsu. Tsunade didn't refuse in the end. If Tsunade was not interested in Muji ninjutsu at all, it would be impossible. Don't call me Tsunade-sama, call me Tsunade's sister later. Tsunade patted Ryu on the shoulder and grinned. I don't know if this girl did it on purpose. The attack was really heavy. After that, Ryu invited Tsunade to dinner. He thought Tsunade would refuse. Who knew that Tsunade agreed without hesitation? Originally, Ryu was only polite. Ryu, can you lend me some money? Tsunade's eyes rolled, and then he asked Ryu. What do you want money for? Hearing that Tsunade was about to borrow money, Ryu became vigilant and lent Tsunade the money. In fact, Ryu has already guessed what Tsunade is going to do with borrowing money. It is estimated that he will go to the casino. Although this big fat sheep has been losing, he has never been discouraged. Although Tsunade is not big nowadays, she has been in the casino since she was a child. Borrowing money is definitely going to be a gamble. I have a profitable business, and I can return it to you tomorrow with profit, Tsunade said to Ryu. Hehe, don't fool me, you are a famous big sheep, I don't know. When Ryu was about to refuse, his eyes suddenly lit up. No, maybe I can make some money with Tsunade, but lending her some money is nothing. Okay, then I will lend you some reluctantly. Ryu is also very proud, lending Tsunade 100,000 taels, but he will definitely make money from Tsunade. After entering the casino, facing Tsunade, it is absolutely impossible to lose money. It seems that he will make a lot of money. After eating, Ryu took the initiative to take Tsunade to the casino, and then when it was dark, Ryu walked out of the casino. Sister Tsunade, thank you very much, this is my salary for you. Ryu gave the 1 million taels to Tsunade, and then left with the 30 million taels he earned. Damn it, how come I feel so upset when I got the money? Tsunade took the money given by Ryu and felt very upset. When he entered the casino, Uchiha Ryu was going to fight against himself. People who didn't know thought he had any deep hatred with him. But every time she loses, and Ryu makes a lot of money. Is there any secret? No, I have to ask Ryu for advice someday? Where did Tsunade know that Ryu's secret to winning is her? Now the name of Tsunade Big Sheep is not so well known. If you wait for Tsunade to completely gain the name of Konoha Fat Sheep in the future, I am afraid that you will not be able to make any money with Tsunade. Although I don't make a lot of money, I feel pretty good. Ryu felt good with the money, but when he returned home, Ryu immediately entered the system space to practice. With 3 times the training time in the system space, Ryu first practiced multiple shadow clone techniques. Because you have mastered the shadow clone technique, It is not difficult to practice multiple shadow clone techniques, and you can separate hundreds of shadow clone techniques at once. You help me practice ninjutsu together. Ryu said to these shadow clones that the reason for multiple shadow clone, a forbidden technique that is a bit tasteless for others, is because this technique is too powerful for the practice of ninjutsu. The unfinished wind-style spiral shuriken can be completed by shadow clone, and the training of flying thunder god technique, illusory dark line technique can be handed over to shadow clone. The experience of shadow clone training will return to Ryu's body after the shadow clone is removed. However, correspondingly, exhaustion will also be passed into Ryu's body, so Ryu will not overly separate out shadow clone practice. If you go too far, the injured person will only be yourself. This feeling is really scary. It seems that the number of shadow clone will be slowed down next time. Hundreds of shadow clone practiced for 2 hours. After being relieved by Ryu, Ryu couldn't bear the tiredness. He felt that he hadn't slept for a week. At this moment, Ryu decided in his heart that he would definitely not be so desperate next time. 10 days have passed in a blink of an eye, and the strange power technique learned from Tsunade is now not said to be proficient, but it is also very proficient. This is also due to Ryu's mastery of chakra itself is very good, otherwise the progress will definitely not be so fast. In addition to practicing these days, Ryu also teaches Mikoto ninjutsu from time to time, and by the way also studies the sealing technique of the Uzumaki clan. After saving the Uzumaki clan, Uzumaki Kai gave the Uzumaki clan's sealing technique to Ryu. Basically, most of the Uzumaki clan's sealing technique is available here. It's just that Ryu seldom studied before, mainly because he needed to practice a lot of ninjutsu, and he didn't have time to study the seal technique. But now I also try my best to spare some time to study, and sometimes ask Kushina for advice. Yes, it is to ask Kushina. Although Kushina is very young, she is very talented in practicing seal art. With the teaching of Uzumaki Kai, she is at least better than Ryu in seal art. It's time to challenge Onoji's projection. I hope I won't let me down. The dust will burst out. After returning from dinner at Mikoto's house, Ryu entered the system space and prepared to challenge Onoji's projection. Third Tsuchikage Onoki, although it is not easy to deal with, but Ryu is sure in his heart that even second Hokage Senju Tobirama can handle it. Can it not solve Onoki? This battlefield is good. After entering the trial space, Ryu looked at the battlefield in the forest environment. Susanoo. Old man, sneak attack is not a good method. Ryu's Susanoo was hit hard. Ryu, who had just entered, was attacked by Onoki, but Ryu found out and used Susanoo to block Oyaki's rock fist technique. Earth-style rock fist technique can turn your right hand into a hard rock fist. This fist is definitely not much worse than Tsunade's strange power fist. However, this level of attack is not enough to break Susanoo's defense. He faintly looked at Oyaki, who was already an old man in front of him. Now Oyaki in reality is still in his prime of life, but the projection of the system space is Oyaki during the Fourth World War. Cut. Susanoo held 2 swords in his hand, and slashed towards Onoki. Rumble. The earth trembled and was cut open by Ryu's Susanoo. He was indeed a god of destruction. The destructive power of a single blow was comparable to S-rank ninjutsu. But Onoki is not so easy to deal with. Susanoo's destructive power is not enough, but Onoki is also very agile. Using the light and heavy rock technique, Oyemu reduced his own weight and walked like flying, and Susanoo's huge blade could dodge it. This old man's not printing speed is so fast, it's not slower than me. When Ryu turned on Mangekyo Sharingan, he could easily perceive any movement of Onoki. Under the fierce attack of Susanoo, he didn't fall into the wind. There really isn't a simple person who can become a shadow. At this time, he also felt that Oyaki was not good to deal with. Now Oyaki hasn't used Dust Escape yet. If Dust Escape is used, even Susanoo can destroy it in one hit. Dust Escape Primary Realm Stripping Technique. Under Ryu's pressure, Onogi finally used the Dust Escape that consumed Chakra. A cube enchantment separates one of Susanoo's arms into atoms, but the original world stripping technique enchantment has limited coverage, and it is impossible to envelop the entire Susanoo in it. To completely destroy Ryu's Susanoo, he can only use the Dust Evacuation Boundary Stripping technique, but although this technique has a large range, it is an upgraded version of the Primal Realm Stripping technique, but the consumed Chakra is quite scary and cannot be used easily. One arm was destroyed, but Ryu consumed pupil power and Chakra, and the destroyed Susanoo arm recovered immediately. It's no use, unless it's killing Ryu, it doesn't make sense to destroy Susanoo completely. Forcing you to use the boundary stripping technique, Ryu still uses Susanoo to attack fiercely, swinging his two swords like flying, already changing the surrounding terrain. Sure enough, Oyemu was forced by Ryu to stop, and had to use the dust escape limited stripping technique to give it a try. The boundary stripping technique is terrifying, with a large range and great power, and it also has a continuous effect. The entire Susanoo is wrapped in it. Flying Thunder God technique. Ryu used the Flying Thunder God technique to leave the dusty enchantment. When he entered, he threw out the special Flying Thunder God kunai and was ready. Far away from the bounds of the stripping technique, Ryu took a deep breath, and Ryu kicked a stone at his feet. After the stone enters the boundary stripping technique range, it is instantly separated into atoms and disappears. It's horrible. I don't want to experience the feeling of being broken down into atoms in person. It is really scary to eliminate the blood, but Ryu has the Flying Thunder God technique. No matter how terrible it can't hit the enemy, it's useless. Flying Thunder God slash. The specially made kunai with the Flying Thunder God technique flew towards Onoki. Chakra and Onoki, who was severely physically exhausted, were panting, but they still avoided the attack of kunai. Kuwu flew towards Onoki's back, and at the same time, Ryu's figure disappeared instantly, appeared behind Onoki, grabbing the kunai's supreme and slashed towards Onoki. If this shot fell, it would definitely take Onoki's life. Perceiving the danger, Onoki quickly turned around and blocked Ryu's blow with a rock fist. It's over, Onoki. A smile appeared on Ryu's face. The moment he turned from Onoki, it was over. Ryu's ultimate move was Mangekyo Sharingan. Monthly reading. Mangekyo Sharingan pupil technique, one of the strongest illusion techniques. The result is doomed the moment he stares at each other. Unless you have the same Mangekyo Sharingan, or the horror of powerful mental power, you will definitely not be able to break free from the illusion space of moon reading. In the illusion space, Ryu asked Onoki to taste what are the top 10 tortures. The terrifying mental damage caused by Moonred caused Onoki to coma in an instant. Faced with the kunai cut off by Ryu, there was no resistance to it. Ding. You kill Oyemu projection, get 100,000 points, and the blood succeeds in eliminating Dust Escape primary realm stripping technique. As a result, Ryu got his wish, exploding the dust he wanted to get. Ryu believes that the dust in his hands is definitely 10 times more terrifying than in the hands of Onoki, because Ryu doesn't have to be tired of chakra. Leaving the trial space, Ryu entered the training space and experimented with Dust Escape. After experimenting with Dust Escape and Primal Realm stripping technique, Ryu found a problem. He now only knows the Dust Evacuation primary realm peeling technique. As for the stronger Dust Escape limited boundary peeling technique, Ryu will not at all. I only exploded an ninjutsu. What should I do with the Dust Escape limited boundary stripping technique? Could it be exchanged by me? Ryu opened the exchange mall and looked at it, and after seeing the price of boundary stripping technique, he closed the exchange mall directly. The price is 120,000 points. Although this technique is very strong, Ryu is really reluctant. I still have to save it to redeem Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. The points can't be wasted. I will find other ways to get them in the future. There are 2 ways to obtain the Dust Escape limited stripping technique. One is to find Oyemu to snatch his ninjutsu, and the other is to draw Oyemu's projection again, and then burst out. Ryu asked Xiaomeng, even if he defeated the projection, it will not be impossible to extract it in the future. If you are lucky, Onoji's projection can be drawn in the future. Forget it. Chen Dan primary realm peeling technique is enough. Although Ryu is eager to obtain the boundary stripping technique, he is not in a hurry. It doesn't matter if he doesn't lack this technique. Moreover, if it is not a critical moment, Ryu will not be easily used in front of outsiders. Think of it as being clumsy. The more hidden cards, the better. If you expose too much, you will be targeted and calculated. Ryu doesn't want to make trouble. Of course, if it is troublesome to find him, Ryu will also let others know how strong he is. Leaving the system space, Ryu finds Uchiha wild. How is the situation in Ninja World now? Nowadays, the Ninja World has been turbulent continuously, and it is not far from the Second Ninja World War, so Ryu will also pay attention to the situation in the Genin world. Young Master, Sand Shinobi has appeared on the border of the Land of Fire, and the relationship between Konoha village and Tsunade is also very tense. Uchiha Yi told Ryu what he had learned. Tsunade belongs to the Kingdom of Wind and is one of the 5 powerful ninja villages. The territory of the Kingdom of Wind is very large, but the country of Wind is located in the desert area, so the environment is not satisfactory. Especially compared to the country of fire, it is almost a sky and one underground. The country of fire occupies the most fertile land and is the richest of the 5 major countries. It will naturally be targeted by other countries. Although the 5 major powers also have armies composed of ordinary people, the true direction of war depends on the ninja. Compared with the ninjas who can release ninjutsu, can fly over the walls, and rush for thousands of miles, the army of ordinary people is not even cannon fodder, and at best can maintain law and order. Ninja village is the armed forces of various countries. The country provides money to ninja village, and ninja is also responsible for protecting the village and protecting the national territory. It has been too long since the first Ninja World War, and the strength of each ninja village is rapidly expanding. Whether it is for development or for the ambition of the heart, the Ninja World War is inevitable. Ryu knows that this time the Ninja World War, I am afraid he will also go to the battlefield. The Ninja World War is getting fierce. Jonin, who has just graduated, needs to be on the battlefield, not to mention that Ryu is now a Chunin. But for the Ninja War, Ryu didn't have any fear, but rather looked forward to it. The outbreak of war is inevitable. I don't know when it will break out. This Ryu himself couldn't tell, he didn't know when the Ninja War broke out in the original book. Although the friction is getting more and more serious now, countries are afraid of each other and will not easily tear their skins. By the way, young master, you should be involved in the internal affairs of our Uchiha, young master. Uchiha Yi said to Ryu. As Ryu's subordinate, Uchiha Yi certainly hopes that Ryu can master the Uchiha family. Ryu nodded faintly. Now Uchiha is divided into 2 camps. Ryu can ignore the affairs of the patriarch Uchiha's camp, but Ryu cannot ignore the clansmen who belong to his camp. They believe in themselves to support themselves, and this is what his grandfather Uchiha Kang expects, and Ryu won't let them down. I know. In fact, Uchiha Yi means that even if Ryu shows up frequently to show off his strength, it is best to give pointers to his clan to accumulate prestige. Ryu, I passed the Chunin exam and became Chunin. When Ryu was about to go to the training ground of the Uchiha family, Makoto came to Ryu and looked a little excited. Makoto, you went to take the Chunin exam, why didn't you tell me? It's just a small matter, and I want to surprise you, Makoto said with a smile. With Ryu's guidance, and Makoto's own talent is not weak, becoming Chunin is indeed a sure thing. The current Makoto, not weaker than the elite Chunin, is already a genius. Let's go. Go to the training ground with me, and I will teach you ninjutsu by the way. Ryu knows some ninjutsu, and he doesn't mind to teach Makoto and the Uchiha people who are loyal to him. Okay. Makoto followed Ryu obediently. After arriving at the training ground, all the clansmen saw Ryu and respectfully called Ryu young master. Since defeating Uchiha Fugaku, Ryu's reputation has been very high. Of course, there is another main reason, that is, the Uchiha people here are all people who support Ryu. Those who choose to support Uchiha Fugaku are not in harmony with those who support Ryu, and neither will train on the same training ground. There have even been a lot of conflicts. It just happens to be free today, so I will take the time to teach some ninjutsu. Ryu intends to teach lightning-style Chidori to the people. This ninjutsu is in the hands of the Uchiha family, and it is indeed more powerful. When Ryu said that he taught ninjutsu, the people on the training ground were very excited. They all knew that Ryu mastered a great ninjutsu. Although Uchiha has no shortage of ninjutsu, powerful ninjutsu is difficult to obtain, and most of the people use C-level ninjutsu. For example, B-level ninjutsu and A-level ninjutsu are difficult to obtain, and you need a high status to be able to obtain them. Ryu taught the people ninjutsu. Makoto followed Ryu with a smile. When Ryu taught, she also followed. Makoto feels that his strength is not to keep up with Ryu, at least he can't hold back Ryu, after all, they are going to do the task together. The country of wind Tsunade. Feng Ying, are you really ready to start a war against the country of fire? Tsunade's consultant Chio looked at Third Kage solemnly, and starting a war was not a trivial matter. Our Sand Shinobi village situation, Chio consultant, you know very well that if you continue like this, you will only lag behind Konoha village forever. Third Kage has a serious face, ambition and unwillingness in his eyes. Why can Konoha village be called the #1 ninja village? He is the strongest wind shadow in the past, and he is very unconvinced with Konoha village. The economic development between countries is uneven. Now Sand Shinobi village is very poor, and Konoha village is also the richest village. If this gap continues to widen, I am afraid that Sand Shinobi village will never have a chance to beat Konoha village. Third Kazekage is known as the strongest wind shadow, and it is a little bloated, so I want to attack Konoha village. Speaking of it, the strongest among Naruto is a joke. The strongest Kazekage, third Kazekage, died silently in the hands of Sasori of Akasha. The strongest Naruto third Hokage. This is even more a joke. The strongest physical attack Amaterasu? Blowing hard but never killed anyone. Rain Shinobi Village has the intention of expanding its territory and wants to become the 6th largest shinobi village. Maybe we can cooperate with Rain Shinobi to deal with Konoha village. Although third Kazekage is swollen, it is not stupid. Sand Shinobi Village alone has no absolute certainty in dealing with Konoha village, but if you pull up a Rain Shinobi Village, it should be no problem to deal with Konoha village. Hanzo of the Salamander is ambitious. Will we be wooed? Chiyo's younger brother Hai Lao Zhang frowned. He couldn't trust Hanzo of the Salamander. How do you know if you don't try? Even if Hanzo of the Salamander won't cooperate with us, I have decided to use troops against the Land of Fire. I have already won the consent of the daimyo. Third Kazekage's heart to fight is very firm. What he has already decided, even Chiyo and Ilao cannot change. He is still very strong in Sand Shinobi Village. Chiyo and Ilao Zhang didn't make much sense in the end. For the development of Sand Shinobi Village, they decided to support third Kazekage. Third Kazekage, who was supported, also let out a sigh of relief. If Chiyo and Abina disagree, his plan may be dead. Although he is strong, Chiyo and Ilao Zhang's reputation in Sand Shinobi Village is too high. If they are unwilling to fight, there are probably few others who support him. Fortunately, their siblings are very supportive of him. After that, third Kazekage contacted Hanzo of the Salamander, the demigod of Rain Shinobi Village, and wanted to join Hanzo of the Salamander against Konoha village. But he did not get a response from Hanzo of the Salamander, and even if he did not get a response, third Kazekage still declared war on the country of fire. In the Konoha village Naruto office, Sarutobi Hiruzen summoned the top of Konoha village for a meeting with a gloomy expression. Sand Shinobi Village has declared war on us, what do you think? Putting down the pipe in his hand, Sarutobi Hiruzen didn't want to smoke anymore, and he was worried at this time. The ambitious Sand Shinobi Village and Hanzo of the Salamander, as well as Rock Shinobi Village and Cloud Shinobi Village that have not yet expressed their views, as well as the understood Mist Shinobi Village, they all look forward to the Land of Fire. Danzo has a cold light in his eyes. Sarutobi, since war has been declared, it is no longer what we have in mind. Assemble the ninja to take action. Mitokado Homura said to Sarutobi Hiruzen that there is no choice but to fight now. If you are timid, not only is it useless, but it will make others think that Konoha village is afraid. Okay. Then send Hitaki Sakumo led 3,000 ninjas to the border of the country of fire, and first expel Sand Shinobi from the country of fire. Today's Sarutobi Hiruzen is not the indecisive old man, he is still the ninja in his prime. The news of the war between Konoha village and Sand Shinobi village was transmitted to the entire ninja world. Third Tsuchikage Onoki, and third Raikage also received the news, but they did not say anything. At the same time, Hanzo of the Salamander, known as the demigod of the ninja world, now also participated in attacking the Iron Kingdom. Did the Second Ninja World War finally break out? Ryu also got the news immediately. According to his understanding, the Second Ninja War was a war between Konoha village and Sand Shinobi village and Rain Shinobi village. The other three big ninja villages did not participate. Uchiha Yi, are any members of the Uchiha family sent to the battlefield? Ryu asked Uchiha Yi. Hearing Ryu's question, Uchiha Yi quickly replied, "Young master, we Uchiha have not been dispatched to the battlefield yet." I know. Now third Hokage does not trust the Uchiha family, and should not let Uchiha go to the battlefield rashly, not to mention that it is only the beginning of the Second Ninja War. Super S-level mission. Help Konoha village win the Second Ninja War, mission reward. Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, 300,000 points. There is no penalty for mission failure. Ryu consumed 40,000 points, and then refreshed the missions, Super S-level missions, and mission rewards that made Ryu very excited. Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, this reward is equivalent to helping Ryu save 500,000 points, and there is a reward of 300,000 points. Just lie down and win this task. Ryu is very relaxed. The original winner of the Second Ninja War is Konoha Village, and Konoha Village has never lost in the Ninja War. Super S-level missions are not so easy to win, and there may be variables. Just when Ryu was talking about lying down and winning, Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, Xiaomo's voice appeared in Ryu's mind. Hearing Xiaomeng's words, Ryu's face changed slightly, too. How could the system task make you vain prostitutes easily? Anyway, the task reward is bound to me. No matter what changes occur, Ryu will not give up the rewards of this Super S-level mission. The rewards are so rich that Ryu will drool. How can it be possible to give up? Even if there is a big change, it can't be beyond his control. Unless Uchiha Madara takes the shot, no matter how you change, Konoha village will win. As for the old guy Uchiha Madara, it is impossible to expose himself, so Ryu couldn't think of how Konoha village would lose. In a blink of an eye, half a year has passed since the Ninja World War began, and now the war is getting fiercer and fiercer. Rain Shinobi Village, the small shinobi village, burst out with unprecedented power. Facing the great shinobi village, Hanzo of the Salamander also openly fought against Konoha village and Sand Shinobi village. The location of the Land of Rain is not good. It is sandwiched between the Land of Fire, the Land of Wind, and the Land of the Land. Now the battlefield of the Ninja World War is the Land of Rain. For the dignity of the Kingdom of Rain, Hanzo of the Salamander, the demigod of the ninja world, declared war on Konoha and Sand Shinobi. As long as it is in the Kingdom of Rain, the ninjas of the enemy country are their enemies. The current Hanzo of the Salamander is indeed courageous, and it is not the old guy who is afraid of being replaced by the younger generation in the future. In the past 6 months, Ryu's strength has not improved much. Ryu draws projections once a month, and Ryu draws 6 times, but he was not lucky and did not draw a strong projection of characters. They were all unrecognized dragon sets. In addition to the meager points, several C-level ninjutsu broke out. Finally solved, it's really laborious. Ryu looked at the projection of the fallen character in front of him. He looked exactly like him, it was his projection. Ding. Congratulations on defeating Uchiha Ryu projection, getting the Sharingan advanced card ×1, Mangekyo Sharingan pupil power, 100,000 points. Finally defeated his own projection. To be honest, it was really difficult to deal with, almost relying on the opponent who was killed by the war of attrition. Although Ryu has more ninjutsu than his own projection skills, such as projection cannot be flying thunder god technique, cannot hide in dust, nor can he use wind-style spiral shuriken. But the projection will go back in time, and he has personally seen the rogue who goes back in time. As long as the opponent's pupil power and chakra are not exhausted, don't even think about causing fatal damage to the opponent. Flying Thunder God, the space ninjutsu, faced time retrospect, and it didn't have much effect. It just teleported past and hasn't sneaked in yet. A time retrospect throws you back to where you were. Ryu pierced the heart of the projection several times, and when he was about to die in the next second, he suddenly used time to go back and reverse the time, and he was full of blood and resurrected. He was also disgusted by his pupil technique, and in the end he simply used the time to look back against the projection, and then killed the projection after being blind. Sharingan advanced card. You can upgrade Sharingan by 1 level, up to Mangekyo Sharingan. Damn, I'm really looking forward to it in vain. Ryu took a look at the Sharingan advancement card that came out. He originally thought that he could evolve his Mangekyo Sharingan and get the eternal Mangekyo directly. In the end, he could only upgrade to Mangekyo Sharingan. Then this thing is not tasteless to him. Xiaomeng, can this advanced Sharingan card be used by others? If it can't be used by other people, this thing is a waste, but it's the first time that this kind of props have been exploded by defeating the projection. Ryu is still quite surprised. It can be used by others. That's good, it means it's not useless. Ryu put the Sharingan advanced card away, which is equivalent to a pair of Mangekyo Sharingan. After checking them all, Ryu also found the advanced Sharingan card, which sells for 200,000 yuan, which is more expensive than the Mangekyo Sharingan exchange, probably because it can be used by others, so it is so expensive. At the same time, Ryu also found an advanced card that allows Mangekyo Sharingan to evolve into Eternal Mangekyo. The price is 600,000 points, which is 100,000 points more expensive than the direct exchange for Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. The burst of Mangekyo Sharingan pupil power, didn't it make my eyes evolve into Eternal Mangekyo? Ryu was a little disappointed. He merged with the burst of Mangekyo Sharingan's pupil power. His pupil power was indeed greatly improved, but there was no qualitative change. If Ryu, you burst out a pair of Mangekyo Sharingan, and then after you replace it, you should be able to evolve into Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. Xiaomeng and Ryu said. Even if you change your eyes, even if you project your eyes, I don't want to change them. Ryu shook his head. He was a bit reluctant to change his eyes. Anyway, he didn't need to change his eyes to evolve into Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. I'm leaving the system space first. Saying to Xiaomeng, Ryu exits the system space, and then Ryu goes to his grandfather Uchiha Kang. Ryu intends to give his grandpa the Sharingan advanced card. Ryu, you are here. Seeing Ryu's arrival, Uchiha smiled on his solemn face. Grandpa, are you interested in Mangekyo Sharingan? After sitting down, Ryu asked Uchiha Kang. Uchiha Kang was taken aback for a moment. I have a way to evolve 3 Tomo Sharingan into Mangekyo Sharingan without the painful stimulus of the death of a loved one. Ryu faces Uchiha Kang and doesn't mind revealing some secrets, anyway, as long as the system is not exposed. Looking at Ryu, Uchiha was silent for a long time, and then turned on Mangekyo Sharingan. At this time, it was Ryu's turn to be stunned. Grandpa, you really don't show up. He really didn't expect that. He really didn't expect Uchiha Kang to actually turn on Mangekyo Sharingan. If you have a way to turn on Mangekyo Sharingan, keep it for yourself. Uchiha Kang smiled. Although he was curious about Ryu's way of evolving Sangu Jade into Mangekyo, Uchiha Kang did not ask. Actually, I have also turned on Mangekyo Sharingan. Ryu didn't hide either. In front of Uchiha Kang, he didn't need to hide too much, he wouldn't hurt himself. Moving, Uchiha Kang's face showed excitement. Before Ryu said that he could evolve the 3 Gold Jade into Mangekyo Sharingan, he was not as excited as he is now. Ha 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 ha, God bless us. Uchiha Kang laughed. Now Ryu is only 11 years old and he has Mangekyo Sharingan. He is already unprecedented. As for whether there will be someone in the future, then no one knows. It is estimated that this will not happen. People. Even Uchiha Itachi, who is exceptionally talented, only started Mangekyo Sharingan at the age of 13. Uchiha Obito started Mangekyo Sharingan at the age of 12 under the stimulation of losing Lin. And Ryu actually turned on Mangekyo Sharingan when he was 10 years old. Of course, Ryu was turned on, otherwise he can only open Mangekyo Sharingan at the age of 12. After staying with Uchiha Kang for a while, Ryu left, during which Uchiha Kang told Ryu many things. For example, don't expose Mangekyo Sharingan easily, and you can't use Mangekyo Sharingan casually. Overuse of Mangekyo Sharingan will cause blindness. Mangekyo Sharingan is a double-edged sword that hurts the enemy as well as yourself. It is indeed a cursed eye. Only when the eternal Mangekyo evolves can it be considered as breaking the curse. Of course, for Ryu, there is no need to worry about this. He now has Uzumaki Fairy Body, not to mention that it will never happen, but it should be no problem for 7 years and 8 years. By then, Ryu's Mangekyo Sharingan has already evolved into Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. Since Grandpa is useless, leave it to Makoto. Ryu intends to keep the advanced Sharingan card for Makoto to use, but it certainly can't be used by Makoto now. Now Makoto's Sharingan is only a good one. After Makoto's Sharingan evolves to 3 Guyu, Makoto's Sharingan can be directly advanced to Mangekyo Sharingan. Ryu, Lord 3rd Hokage, has posted a mission for us. After returning home, Makoto is here waiting for Ryu, with a mission scroll in his hand. A mission issued to us by 3rd Hokage. Ryu took the quest scroll, then his eyes narrowed slightly, the task of escorting medicines, escorting a batch of medicines to the battlefield. Compared with the battle on the battlefield, the task of escorting drugs is still safe, but the danger is still not small. Shall we answer or not? Makoto asked Ryu, who also knew that this task was more dangerous. Take it, of course you must. Ryu smiled. For him, even on the battlefield, there is no danger, let alone an escort mission. And just to test if someone wants to target him, telling him intuitively that there must be a pit in this task. Don't go, Makoto, No, I want to go with you. When Makoto interrupts Ryu, he stares at Ryu seriously. If Ryu wants to leave her behind, Makoto absolutely disagrees. This, alright. Ryu originally wanted to be safe, so he didn't want Makoto to go with him, but he knew he couldn't persuade Makoto at this time. Don't look at Makoto as usually gentle, basically she can listen to Ryu's words, but she will never give up on some things when she gets serious. Even if you don't bring her, I'm afraid Makoto will follow behind secretly. But then, Makoto, you need to listen to me. Okay. A sweet smile appeared on Makoto's face, and he agreed directly without any problem. Then go. Ryu left with Makoto, and by the way Uchiha Wild. If there is any danger with Uchiha Wild, you can let Uchiha Wild protect Makoto. It's been a long time since I left Konoha village. After arriving outside the village, Ryu couldn't help but said that since the last time he returned from a mission, Ryu has not left the village and has not left Konoha village for more than half a year. From here to the battlefield, if we hurry up, we will be there in about 2 days. Makoto took out the map with a serious expression. Ryu also looked at the map. He looked at the map first to know the target location. The location is in the country of rain, the country that rains all the year round. The country of rain is quite pitiful, but the location of the country of rain is not very good. Being completely surrounded by big countries, and then used as a battlefield between big countries, this is why Hanzo of the Salamander participated in the Second Ninja World War. In addition to being ambitious, there is also that he doesn't want to be bullied anymore. It's enough to be useless. Hanzo of the Salamander doesn't want the land of rain to be treated as a battlefield forever. Be careful, we may be attacked on the road. Ryu reminded Makoto. The team escorting the supplies is very likely to be attacked, not to mention that Ryu felt that this mission might be conspiracy. Whether it's Third Hokage's conspiracy or Danzo's conspiracy, this time the task will not be that simple. Makoto nodded. You can relax your vigilance in the village, but you can't relax your vigilance when you come to the outside of the village, especially now that you are in a time of war. On the first day on the road, Ryu didn't encounter any danger, not even a little thief on the road. Let's take a break in front. Ryu said to Makoto that he is not tired himself, but he also needs to think about Makoto. Makoto did not refuse. She was indeed a little tired. After opening the water bag and taking a sip of water, she handed the water bag to Ryu. As for sharing a water bag, because it is Ryu, Makoto doesn't mind. It's so sweet. After drinking, Ryu said with a smile on his face. Makoto's face was a little red, because she felt that Ryu's words meant something. After giving Ryu a big byakugan, Makoto sat down and took out the dry food. Doing tasks outside, don't think about eating too much. You can only eat dry food. To be honest, it's a bit unpalatable. Taking out a piece of dry beef jerky, and just taking a bite, Ryu frowned, and the meal was unsettling. We seem to be surrounded. Putting the beef jerky into his mouth, he pulled Makoto up and took out kunai. Although Makoto didn't find the enemy, after hearing Ryu's words, she didn't dare to be careless. She knew that Makoto would never aimlessly. After obtaining the Uzumaki fairy body, Ryu's perception ability becomes very strong. Although it is not as good as the Kagura's eyes of the Uzumaki clan, it is much more powerful than the average perception ninja. What's more, through the 9 tails chakra in his body, Ryu also perceives the killing intent. I was discovered by 2 little ghosts, killed them, and took the supplies from them. A team leader wearing rain shinobi forehead protector came out with a cruel look on his face. At the same time, 9 ninjas appeared together and surrounded Ryu and Makoto. 1 Jonin, 9 Chunin. I glanced at their 10-man team. If they really deal with 2 ordinary Chunin, it will definitely kill. But in the face of Ryu, these people are really not enough, and even an elite Jonin hasn't appeared, so I look down on him too much. Makoto looked at the 10 ninjas who surrounded them. Although horrified, she maintained her composure. As long as Ryu was by her side, she felt that she had the backbone and would not be afraid. The ninjas who surrounded Ryu and Makoto looked at each other, without talking nonsense, and killed them directly at Ryu. Looking for a dead end. Puff. Kumo cut through the neck of one of the Chunin in an instant, then rubbed out Rasengan with one hand and hit a ninja in the abdomen with one blow. Rasengan's power can penetrate the big tree that a person hugs, hit a person, and instantly punch a big hole. Fire style extinguish the fire. The hands quickly formed a seal, and then a sea of fire spewed out. 5 hapless ninjas were killed in it, and they were already burnt to scorched corpses. Of the 10 hands-on ninjas, 7 died in an instant, and the remaining 3 were stunned by Ryu. You dare to deal with me with this strength? Let's talk. How did the information about us leak out? Ryu looked at Jonin among the remaining 3 ninjas, who was also the captain of the 10-man team, and his hands trembled a little at this time. After receiving the task, he was dealing with 2 little ghosts who had just graduated for less than a year. He didn't put this task in his eyes at all. Who would have thought that this little ghost was so scary? Forget it. I don't think you may know, just kill it. Ryu's eyes showed a fierce killing intent, and he would never be merciful to the enemy. Makoto, deal with that Chunin, and leave the remaining 2 to me. You can't just let Makoto watch. Although Ryu can solve it completely by himself, it doesn't grow much for Makoto. It is good. Makoto is also very decisive, using his best fire style to kill one of Chunin, and the remaining Jonin and Chunin are handed over to Ryu. Lightning style Chidori. Ryu's goal is the Chunin, first solve the problem, and finally deal with the Jonin. At Ryu's speed, A small Chunin couldn't escape his attack. Ryu's palm pierced his heart and died in unwillingness and panic. Damn, it's just a little kid. Rain Shinobi Jonin gritted his teeth. He was scared just now. It was a shame to him to fear the kid standing in front of him. Fire style Great Fireball Technique. Water style Water Barrier. The fireball collided with the barrier formed by water style, and a large amount of water vapor spread out. Is there any ninjutsu? Use it quickly. Ryu turns on Mangekyo Sharingan, and if the opponent performs some ninjutsu that he doesn't know, Ryu can copy it. Ordinary ninjutsu Mangekyo Sharingan is very simple to copy, but S-level ninjutsu is not that easy to copy. As for those special secret techniques and blood succession bound ninjutsu, they cannot be copied at all. If Sharingan could replicate all the ninjutsu, it would be too strong. Rain Shinobi Village Jonin's expression is ugly. He used the B-level ninjutsu water barrier, and he almost failed to block Ryu's great fireball technique. Water-style Water Dragon Bomb Technique. This was the strongest ninjutsu he could, and a huge water dragon rushed towards Ryu. Water-style Hard Vortex Water Blade. The water spout spear was caught by Ryu, and he threw it towards Rain Shinobi Village Jonin. The water dragon that came towards Ryu was defeated first, and finally hit the Jonin. When hit by the S-level water-style ninjutsu, there was only one dead end. The strength carried by the Hard Vortex Water Blade did not even leave the opponent's body, and a large hole was penetrated in the ground. Looking at Makoto, now Makoto's battle is about to end. Although Makoto has little combat experience, Makoto will not lose against opponents of the same strength. Use Sharingan's illusion to control the opponent for a second, and then pierce that Chunin's heart with Kuuna. Let's go. Leave this place first. Ryu is also not interested in staying where he is, and leaves here with Makoto. At the same time, Ryu is also thinking about whether the other party really found them relying on their ability, or someone deliberately informed them and wanted to kill someone with the knife. Forget it. Give Danzo a note first. Don't care whether it has anything to do with him, this account is on his head. As for whether Danzo was wronged or not, this is not important. Anyway, he is not a good thing. What's wrong with it? Besides, Danzo was originally the king of the pot. In fact, Ryu really didn't throw the wrong scapegoat. This time, the incident was really related to Danzo. Danzo deliberately sent someone to leak information to Hanzo of the Salamander. It's just that Hanzo of the Salamander doesn't pay enough attention to Ryu. Well, in Ryu's opinion, it doesn't pay enough attention to him, but in fact he already values him very much. Sending a Jonin and 9 Chunins to deal with 2 Chunins who have just graduated less than a year ago, is this not enough attention? It's a pity how Hanzo of the Salamander knew that Ryu was just a superficial Chunin, destroying the army sent by Hanzo of the Salamander. To deal with Ryu, at least Hanzo of the Salamander needs to come in person. The key is that Jiraiya can't beat Ryu. Don't look at Hanzo of the Salamander as the demigod of the ninja world. In fact, this demigod of the ninja world is still very watery. At most, he has the peak strength of the shadow rank, which is not much different from the shadow strength of the major ninja villages. On the next journey, Ryu and Makoto did not encounter an attack and came to the battlefield camp smoothly. Well, why are you here? After seeing Ryu, Tsunade asked him. Come on for the mission. This is the medicine that Makoto and I escorted. Give the escort to Tsunade. Ryu and the others have completed their mission, and can go back next. Dare to take up the tasks that come to the front line, and go back quickly. Tsunade glared at Ryu, looking very angry. Although Tsunade's attitude was very bad, Ryu knew that it was for his own good, and even the task of transporting supplies would be quite dangerous. Makoto glanced at Ryu in surprise. Master Tsunade seemed to care about Ryu. When did Ryu and Master Tsunade have such a good relationship? Actually, I still want to see it on the battlefield. I'm not in a hurry to go back for the time being. Coming to the battlefield, Ryu also wants to stay on the battlefield. By the way, learn about the situation on the battlefield. After all, Ryu still has a super reward system mission. Although Konoha won in the original book, Xiaomeng has said that he can't simply lie down to win, so there may be variables. If Konoha really loses, Ryu won't have any losses, but the rewards can be obtained. But Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, this kind of reward Ryu can't bear to let go.